apparently he how do I put this? In the video, he basically went off on how stupid Marvel Comics is right now.
Canning the Punisher?
Yeah, well, they canceled him, and they ended his arc by basically resurrecting his wife, and then making his wife say that his wife was going to divorce him because he became a murderer, and they took out everything that made the Punisher. So like they took away the guns, they took away the skull, they changed his name, and now they're just getting rid of it because the one author of the comics, I guess, just sucks.
What the fuck?
Dude, it's just messed up. Like,
dude, what's gonna happen with his arc in Daredevil Born Again?
Well, here's my thing, right? This feels like this is a Marvel Comics thing, not a new thing that's hopefully gonna not affect the MCU.
You better not.
Yeah, I mean,
they made comic book accurate they've been getting lately, and I don't want to.
I mean, they've made a big. I think when they think of the comics, I think we just should. I was talking to a bunch of people about this the other day. I think we just got to look forward to the new comics, not the new comics, the old comics. Don't really look at the new ones as an example, because they don't really know what the hell they were doing. It's clear only Stan Lee and the original people knew what they were doing.
Naturally.
So I just feel like
Stan Lee and Jack Kirby knew what they were doing when it came to Marvel Comics.
Yep. Everyone else is just doing little shits. Wait, why is the Kratos in this cutscene? The dialogue in the thing is being very odd. Let me see if I can fix this. Where's my audio? Doing good over there, honey?
Oh. Dumbass Street trying to break somebody out.
Why is it still? Oh, what's going on? Who are we breaking out?
Just doing some leaks on the Red Hood. On top of night.
Welcome to the watch party, guys.
And then
welcome to the watch party.
Maybe later on we play some Justice.
Yeah, we can do both. I just feel
I
just feel like the podcast.
I just like doing some Gotham Knights, you know.
Yeah, skipping this. Alright, let me know when you want to invite me.
Alright.
My audio. Let me try something different. I'm gonna get
Austin's here.
Oh, he's online. Alright, let me see. See if I can get this working real quick. The one headphones was being weird. Alright. Let's turn off the main mic. Okay, that's actually good. Alright. There we go. Let's see if we hear everything better. Yep. There we go. Alright, I just wanted to make sure the headset, because everything was being kind of wonky. So I was trying to make sure the audio was working good. Oh yeah, I'm hearing good. Okay, where is... Oh, he sent us an invite already? Huh. Oh, that's why my headset volume wasn't up very much. There we go. That fixes that. Welcome, guys. Alright, I turned up my audio. Hey, Chosen, welcome to the podcast. We're going to get into some pretty big DC news. So I guess the first thing I want to talk to you about, because I wasn't going to talk about Gotham Knights. I haven't seen 11 yet, Chosen. I have seen 10. I put up my review for 10 just now. I'm a bit behind because I don't have cable, so I watched the new episode when the app goes out. But I'll try to do a watch party tonight when the new episode drops. So we'll watch the new episode tonight. I can't wait. Can you tell me one thing, Chosen? Tell me one. I'm going to ask one question. I just want to know the answer to it. Do we see, or are we teased more about Lex Luthor? It's the only thing I want to know.
the only thing I want to know. Did you get set up on a
Gotham Knights?
Yeah, did you get set up on a mission yet?
Here, and it's free world, so I'm gonna go back to the Belfry and then we can
Okay,
get a
yeah,
chance
so
to-
okay, yes and no. So you're saying yes like he's teased, but no as in we don't see him. Okay, good to know. Because I was going to talk to you about that, Trevor, because you watched episode 10 of Superman and Lois.
Yeah.
So we're in the same place, I'm guessing, because we both haven't seen tonight's episode yet.
Yeah.
Dude, man, I just the stuff with I'm loving this season. I'm loving this season, but I'm also like I'm pulling you, Trevor. The whole cock teasing with Lex Luthor in the last episode was really just grinding my gears.
No.
Like when she talks about him, like basically like yeah, you ever stood in the room with Lex Luthor? It's like the aura of the devil. All right, I'll do that. I will watch that. I will. What I will do is we'll watch the episode, and then I'll do the trailer reaction when we do the episode. So we'll start with our review of episode 10 of Superman and Lois, and then we'll go into. We're not going to talk about Gotham Knights, the show, because I haven't watched the episode 10 or 11 yet. But I'm gonna watch it tonight, so I'll catch up on everything tonight, so we can talk about it for the next podcast. And I know you're behind on Gotham Knights anyway, so we don't really need to talk about that one. But we can focus on Superman and Lois, and then we got a lot of DC topics to get into. Like, I don't know if you've been researching,
Yes.
but there's
I
been.
have been researching, and I did read on that there was I did read on that in play to direct The Brave and the Bold.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to talk about that. There's some more stuff about that. Oh, yeah, Chosen. I understand that. It's not for everyone. It is what it is. Okay, so we're here now. So then whenever you want to select a mission, we can just go kick some shit whenever you're ready.
What do I say? Do I just go to the...
Whatever missions you're working on. Oh, is TJ playing with his toy? I heard someone messing around.
Yeah, TJ's just squeaking on his toy.
Hey, as long as it keeps his attention.
So do I just exit the Belfry?
Yeah. Yeah, so as we're moving along here, guys, so as we're moving along, our first topic, so Superman and Lois episode 10. This episode was pretty much right after episode 9. You know, we had the nice. One of the biggest things about this episode, and actually this episode is very personal to me because my grandma has been diagnosed with brain cancer. Oh, that's gonna be dope, Chosen. I can't wait. And so this episode really hit hard for me. Like I went to visit her today, and it was a pretty tough visit, but she's okay, which is good. It's just hard to see her. She might hang on for a little longer, but unfortunately, cancer takes more people than people survive, and that is just the worst of it, which is why it's one of the worst things that you can be sick with, because so I mean, I'm sure you know lots of people that have had it and didn't survive, and it's pretty bad.
Well, I mean, there were friends of the family that did.
Yeah, that must have been hard.
Stay shocked, we only got 2 episodes left.
That's crazy, Chosen. Well, the hope is that we get picked up for season 4 because we still don't know what's happening with that. So hopefully that happens because that show is too amazing. Like, I will literally go off if that show is canceled because it's easily one of the best DC shows right now. And so if it gets canceled, it would suck. So I just really love the
Honestly,
show.
Tyler Heineken's like one of the best Supermans we could ever ask for.
Oh, I know, dude. He's just incredible. He's absolutely incredible. Like, it's without question, he's so good. So I think, yeah, this episode. So
Canceling season 4 when Lex only only appears in the last 2 episodes.
If they do that shit, if you guys watch my YouTube channel, which I know a lot of you guys will see the biggest rant that you will have ever seen in the history of my channel. Like, I am going off. If not only they cancel Superman and Lois season 4 before it happens, but if they cancel it and then we don't get to see, and then we only get Lex, 2 episodes of Lex, I will be livid. Absolutely livid. Because it's the one thing I've been looking forward to this season. But this episode was very interesting because, you know, like I said, we've been dealing with this cancer storyline for a long time now, and where we went in this episode, where we took things, I found very interesting. It was nice to see Lois survive chemo and get to ring the bell. So that was nice. But then it's kind of weird because then this episode she goes and does her reporting thing and goes and tries and gets information from Pia about Lex Luthor, which was a great scene and incredibly acted.
Season 3 was a huge step up from season 2.
I agree, Chosen. Like, I thought season 2 was still, Superman and Lois will always be brilliant, but I thought season 2's direction was a bit weird, but I think season 3 is absolutely incredible. There has not been a bad episode of season 3 yet, and that needs to be commended, because so many shows, we get a good show, but we rarely ever get a show.
It was great, but the second half was boring.
Yeah.
Because we know the Arrowverse, like, DC, you know the Arrowverse has had some bad episodes in its time.
Yep, apparently we got SWAT teams over here. Really? You're going to blow up my bike? So one of the things I really liked in this episode was the drama between Kyle, still trying to figure out what's going on with Jonathan. What did you think about that, Trevor? Did you think that was pretty interesting?
Remember how bad Flash season 7 was rolling on the floor laughing?
Oh God, yeah. And you think that's bad, and then you get to season 9, and you're like, oh, yeah, no, I know what you mean. I don't even want to talk about that show. Honestly, I'm gonna say something that might be controversial, and people might get really upset about me. But I potentially think that as good as Grant Gustin is, I believe that the Flash movie has the potential to be better than all the worst Flash seasons. I believe it will be better. And I believe it will be a better version. Even though we love Grant, I think they're going to give us a really good Barry Allen, despite...
Oh, no.
Was also bad.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about Arrow Season 4. It's not canon. It was erased from the multiverse. We don't speak about it.
Flash movie.
I agree, and we're going to talk about... We're going to talk about those... We're going to talk about those reviews as well, because that's another one of our topics. Because we got a lot to talk about those with the Flash, especially because it sounds like Andy Muschietti might already have his next DC project after the Flash. So we are going to discuss that, but first we have a lot of other things to get into. So let's finish our Superman and Lois review, and then we'll get into our main DC topics. I disarmed the one guy. You need help?
Oh, no. Disarm the guy. I'll take care of these jack-offs.
Yeah, take care of
Disarm the
him.
bomb.
You get him, Red. I'll save the civilians. But so this stuff with Kyle. This episode was interesting. It was interesting to end the episode with the way that Superman just openly revealed himself to how Clark revealed himself to Kyle. Was absolutely, that was a good episode. That was a good episode of The Flash. I really liked, even though I didn't love season 9. I thought that 909 was the best episode of the season. I thought that, see the way they saw Oliver back.
My party and I'll die if I want to.
Yeah, man, that episode was.
Oh, dude, best episode of the Arrowverse. Anyway.
I know, dude. Just seeing Oliver pissed off and dealing with blood work was awesome. We got SWAT team over here.
And don't worry. Oh, we got a SWAT team.
Yeah, I'm kind of just taking out fools. But they got guns, so I could use some backup from you.
Alright, I'm coming. Give me a second. I got a mystically. Crap. TJ needs to get out.
Take him outside. Not today.
Get off my boy, bitch. Get off my boy, bitch.
Yeah, so honestly, guys, oh, nice. Took him out. So honestly, like, so Superman and Lois, this episode was interesting. It was another good episode for episode 10.
Pine family was hugging and Pizarro chilling in the background, rolling on the floor laughing.
That's great. I can't wait to check that out tonight, man. I'll do a watch party for sure, so you guys can see my reaction to it. I'm excited to see that episode. But yeah, so with episode 10, Superman and Lois is interesting that they seem to be doing not only really good with handling serious stories like cancer, but really impressed how the normal CW show handles the underage kid drinking storylines as well. Like, the whole Sarah thing this episode was pretty interesting.
I mean, hell, they dealt with it in the beginning in well, actually, Thea was 18 by the time she took Vertigo.
Oh yeah, I know, she handled it. They handled that pretty well too in earlier Arrow seasons. I will say this. Yeah, I will say this. I do have one criticism with Superman and Lois.
Returned to be the showrunner for Flash season 9.
Yeah, it would have been better if they did that, honestly. Oh, we're interrogating this guy? All right, let's see what we got here. So we're marking.
Just figuring out, like, where... Let's see, I think... No.
It's a backpack. Oh, you got that one? Nice. Yeah, so I think this episode was good. I will say my only criticism of Superman and Lois so far this season, well, I don't think there has been a bad episode yet. I'm really getting sick of Sarah's attitude towards her parents in this season. Like I understand. I mean, I've been a teenager before. I know they're trying to be realistic about it, but she's just annoying sometimes. Like, she's a dick to Jordan, and then she just goes and does weird things. Like she didn't have to go to the kegger and just go get drunk just because the one guy lost his dad. And yeah, I agree, Chosen. I think they're building it up, so hopefully we'll really understand what's been going on with Lex Luthor. I thought the Pia and Mannheim storyline has really kind of made that gap feel good, though. Like, I feel like the main threat, there's been moments of it, but you're right, it has been absence. I just wish that Sarah would stop being a brat and behave for her parents, because it's just kind of a bit annoying, but it is what it is. Teenagers will be teenagers. You get everything
Keep in
all...
mind, there were a couple of times I had problems with Superman's sons, but, you know...
I love both sons. So here's something we haven't talked about yet. How did you feel about the recasting of Jonathan? Do you like the new Jonathan? Like, do you feel like it's been a noticeable recasting, or do you feel like this guy's better?
I mean, I'm kind of mutual about it. I mean, I'm okay with it. What about you?
I feel like, honestly, and this is not a crack on the previous Jonathan, but I think this kid, well, I did notice that he was recast. I read the article and stuff. I think he's really good. Like, I really do. I think he's done a really good job making it his own character, and that will be interesting, Chosen. Stay out of there.
Back up, motherfucker.
These are mutant gang wannabes.
No, this is Regulator.
Oh, fine. Whatever we want to call them.
The Regulators. Sorry, but Warren G ain't here to save you, bitch.
Yeah, you're gonna get what's... Oh, you're trying to be the electrocutioner over there now? Really? Yeah, that's just not fun. Stay down, bitch. Be humble.
Be humble.
Yeah, so I think that... How did you feel about Kyle finding out about Clark's identity the way that it happened?
Well, I mean, I feel like it was handled well.
I think it was handled well. I think it's weird that Kyle just keeps pushing for information. When these people have been saving his town for over 3 years now, you should just, you shouldn't worry about who's Superman or who's saving the fire department. Like, you should just do your job and just get with the program.
Get with the program or get the fuck out.
Yeah, that's usually the saying. Yeah, I just feel like they should have I just feel like they should have done. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds in episode 11 because I'm curious to see what his reaction is going to be to that. He's probably going to be mad because he's going to probably find out that that Lana knew for longer than he did, and so he'll probably be pretty upset.
Oh, looks like we got a heist at Star Labs.
Damn it, Barry! You fucking up the timeline again.
What's wrong?
You say he has a heist at Star Labs, so I'm like, damn it, Barry! You're fucking up the timeline again.
I don't think it's Barry Allen this time.
Oh, sure. This time it's not Barry Allen. What you do with how are we just waiting for the dishwasher to be? Okay. What you
Let's
look at?
see what we're dealing with.
What's that? Nice. That's interesting. I wonder why. Oh, you're good, sweetie.
Oh, we got regulators here.
You up top with them? Okay, I see where you are. I'm coming.
Shh, careful.
Yeah. So this episode was pretty good. I'd say the Superman and Lois episode definitely was good, and I can't wait to watch 11. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens next for sure. I'm gonna get behind
Sit
this.
down, bitch.
Jump.
Be humble.
I jumped this guy by the computer.
Silent
Ambush.
takedown?
Yep. Ambush takedown. I hope so.
Alone in an ambush takedown would work.
I personally really hope that even if it does get renewed, if I had to pick what happens, I really hope Max just picks up Superman and Lois, because the CW just doesn't seem to care about it, and I think Max should just pick it up.
I don't think CW cares about DC in general anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, me.
Yeah, I agree. I think Max
We had
should.
to perform a silent takedown.
I know, I messed up. That was on me. I was trying to get him, and then literally he saw me, so then he alerted his goons, so I had to do something. Yeah, no,
Server win.
yeah, so I think that overall, I think it should get picked up, but I hope that Max is the one to pick it up, because I think they.
Pray Max picks it up. Too.
And why didn't Max pick up that show? Because that show's brilliant. Like, that's crazy to me. The fact they didn't pick up Star.
Really outside, like, and if it's really outside the Arrowverse, then why not?
The fact they didn't pick up Stargirl is mind blowing to me. Because Stargirl was really good.
Honestly, I think Max should have picked up like all the DC shows.
Yeah, it would have been a good idea.
If you ask me.
Well, some people are trying to make new deals with them, like continue a lot of. There's talks of some sort of Arrowverse crossovers getting picked up on Max and continuing. So that'd be nice if that happened. Like after the so after the end of Arrow, and then with Flash episode 909, Steve. That would be awesome.
Damn it.
I don't know if we'll get. I don't know if we'll get. If we'll see Flash, but I did hear that Steven would love to do an Arrow season with the HBO Max budget for the more brutal action scenes.
Yeah.
So, and that would be pretty cool if that happened.
Or like Peacemaker and Bloodsport just popping off guys one by one.
Yep. Yeah. So that would have been yeah, that would be cool for sure. So I think that, yeah, I think we'll get some good stuff on Max. I think Max is, I've said for a long time, as much as I've always supported and liked Disney, I think Max is the superior streaming service right now, and I think they're only going to continue to grow bigger with better DC content over time. I mean, just wait till the Penguin show comes out. Chosen, I'll be real with you. I stopped watching Supergirl after season 4. I didn't watch 5 or 6. I missed out on that one. I dodged that bullet pretty quick. I can already tell you this. No disrespect to Melissa Benoist, but I can already tell, what's her name? Sasha Calle? Is that the new Supergirl's name? I'm trying to think what her name is. Sasha something.
Sasha Calle.
Yeah, so Sasha Calle, I can already tell she should and we're going to talk about this in the Flash reviews, I can already tell that people are going to want her to be the new Supergirl for James Gunn's universe because
But honestly, you know, I think with Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, I kind of want a blonde Supergirl, you know.
I mean, I understand, but I mean, if someone is really good as Supergirl, there's like wigs that could be given later. Like, maybe we've already had the best Supergirl, but maybe they just didn't make her blonde for this movie, you know? Because you can always change the look of someone. You know what I mean? Like so it would be fine. I think from what I've seen of her, she's perfect. So I think that she's gonna be great. Like I heard, and we're gonna talk about the Flash reviews in a minute because we got a lot of things to get into. So yeah, so after Superman and Lois, our next topic. Yep, I did too. I'm excited. We're gonna talk about her in a minute. We're gonna break it all down, guys, because today the embargo for the reviews have lifted, and we're gonna start talking about all of that. But first, we got to talk about some other little mini DC stories that are going on right now. So our next big one is, so I was watching Across the Spider-Verse in IMAX yesterday, guys, and the trailer for Blue Beetle came out, and then we got a bunch of information about Blue Beetle since it comes out in August that just launched. Big piece now, we now know that the AI for Blue Beetle is going to be voiced by Becky G, the rapper, so also former Yellow Ranger from that newer Power Ranger movie. I'm trying to turn my chair, sweetie.
Hang on, I gotta let TJ out.
Is that okay? So that, what do you think about, I'll wait for your take when you get back. I'm curious what you think about Becky.
I'm just letting him outside real quick.
All right, you're letting him out. What do you think about Becky G being the AI for Blue Beetle, similar to Tony Stark having his Friday or his Jarvis?
I think that's really cool. I think it's really cool.
And then you got, yeah, and also, and I know people don't talk about this enough. If DC's smart, even though like, because. Yep, even though we're a DC podcast, we're going to talk about that too, Chosen. Don't worry. We'll cover that, I promise. Because me and Trevor both got thoughts on that. So he mentioned the Brave New World thing, which we'll talk about. But so basically, I think with this whole situation, I'm trying to think what we were just talking about. Oh yeah, the Blue Beetle thing. So I think if DC's smart with this movie, because we have some comments from Michelle. You're under attack. I'm coming to get you.
No, I'm not under attack. It's just TJ.
What is he doing?
Already. Oh, he was banging on the door, and I don't want him hopping on it because he could break the glass.
Yeah, we don't want him hopping on. He's too big to do all that. So.
Yeah, he's too big to be hopping on the door like that, and I don't want him doing that. And.
Yeah, so we have so in terms of like this, so we know that Xolo.
Who plays Miguel in Cobra Kai is playing Blue Beetle.
I agree, Chosen. I think they need to get more Cobra Kai actors in the DC universe. I think that's a great spot to start for new blood and getting really good, talented actors. So I think that would be.
I'm hearing talks that Mary Mauser might be playing Lois Lane in Superman.
Yeah, there's some short lists for Lois. Like, we don't really know who they're going to cast yet because it's still very early on. Like, James Gunn finished Guardians 3, and now he's hard at work on making sure that this new DC universe kicks off just right. So it's going to take some time before we get those announcements. I do think that because next month is going to be July, I do think that there will be a DC presence at San Diego Comic-Con this year. And I do think
about time.
And I do think that
Kenny can play a great Miles Morales.
You know, I'm so glad you said that, Chosen. I've been saying that he should play live action Miles since the beginning.
Who?
So Chosen made a great point that that the actor that plays Kenny on Cobra Kai should be live action Miles Morales. And I was like, yeah, dude, it'd be so perfect. I mean,
it'd be good. Actually,
I mean, you look at how he was in season 4 when he had the headphones popping. Dude, he'd be a great Miles.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's just how he was in season 5, kind of.
But that's the character of Kenny. We're talking about the actor.
I know, but like it's just season 5 ruined that for me. I love season 5, but God, that just ruined it for me.
I think season 6 will. I think season 6 will start to redeem Kenny for you a little bit. I think once he realized that Silver was not who he thought he was, I think we'll get back to the way Kenny started.
He already knew. Well, by the end of season 5, he knew who Silver really was.
Yeah, now he's just got to make the right choice. He's got to reconnect with Robbie and realize that he's been playing for the wrong team. And good thing Daniel's not Tobey Maguire because Daniel will actually probably forgive him.
Yeah.
Where I don't think that if Tobey Maguire was his sensei, he would probably not.
He'd be like, "You want forgiveness?
Get religion." Exactly. He would totally be like that. So that's a video I've been dying to make one day. Is just what if Tobey Maguire was a Cobra Kai sensei?
Yeah, it's like, you want to forget? Oh, we already saw what that would be like in
Spider-Man. People wants Peyton List to play Gwen Stacy.
That would be pretty cool. I'm not against that. Hey AJ. Oh, he also said people want Peyton List to play Gwen Stacy. I don't mind that either. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Wouldn't be.
The only thing I'm worried about with that is I heard a little report about Secret Wars that I wanted to talk to you guys about. That's pretty big. Like, but we're gonna talk about the DC news first. So we'll focus on the DC and then we'll talk about the Marvel stuff. But so back to DC. So we're talking about Blue Beetle. So Becky G, we're gonna have his own AI. I really hope that Blue Beetle is shooting to make that DC looks at Blue Beetle and they really try and make DC's Spider-Man. Oh shit, it's Mr. Freeze.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got. I think they're shooting to make DC Spider-Man with Blue Beetle. I think they're gonna make someone. I think he's gonna be quirky. I think he looks like he's gonna have some badass action. There was this interview where Sholo kind of has hinted at that he definitely thinks he could be sticking around for the new DC universe because, they're just introducing his character and a lot of people seem like they're gonna like him. So I think we'll get more of him. And Sholo seems confident, so I think we should be confident that he'll stick around as well.
Oh,
I mean, James Gunn hasn't said anything about Blue Beetle yet, but James Gunn loves the Flash movie, and he hasn't said anything about Ezra Miller yet either. So, I mean, it is what it is. So we're just gonna have to wait and find out on that one. But then I liked, we're gonna have to fight this fool, aren't we? Oh shit, we're gonna fight Mr. Freeze. Which is funny because I was doing the Heroic Assault last night and I fought Mr. Freeze and Clayface last night by myself.
You did Heroic Assault by yourself?
Well, so I was with
I wanted to wait until I get Red Hood up to
yeah, so I was with Austin and one of his friends, but Austin's PS5 and PlayStation shut down. And so then I was left alone with just his friend. His friend logged on because his friend had internet issues. So yeah, I think Blue Beetle's gonna be something special. I think that's gonna be pretty great. I'm trying to think, what was the other big DC scoop I had? So yeah, let's get into the Andy Muschietti pieces of information we have. So Andy Muschietti does not think that anybody else could be, and I know this might be a controversial opinion, but he really believes in Ezra Miller for whatever reason, and he just thinks that Ezra was going to be, like, he couldn't imagine doing The Flash without having Ezra Miller. Which, I mean, it's controversial, but this director is already proving that he's a genius, so I think we really got to take his word for this. You know what I mean, Trevor? Like, it seemed...
Yeah, I don't doubt Andy Muschietti. He's done some good things. I mean, he did...
Yeah.
He did both It films. Well,
yeah.
It Chapter 2 was kind of mediocre.
And speaking of good things... Oh, you didn't like Chapter 2, huh?
Well, I mean, there are a couple things in Chapter 2 that were kind of...
I don't know. One thing I love about Chapter 2 is Bill Hader's character playing older Richie was great.
I agree.
My favorite scene in that movie is when they're facing off with Pennywise, and Bill Hader's like, "Hey, Pennywise, you're a sloppy ass bitch." Oh, that shit got me when he was just messing with him. You want to play Truth or Dare? Truth or Dare? You're a sloppy ass bitch. That shit was great. yeah, I liked that. I think. Sorry, don't mind me. I'm just kicking ass and taking names over here. So yeah, I think with what Andy says, James Gunn has hinted at that he's been so impressed with his work as Flash that we would probably see Andy continue with another DC actor or another DC project. And even though we know that he's doing the Flash movie, apparently they're so confident in his stuff as the Flash movie, and this new Flash movie apparently there's, even though it's going to feature the Flash as its main character, it's got a lot of Batman in it. And so the question has been asked, is Andy Muschietti directing Brave and the Bold? And when he was asked about it, oh really?
I'd be okay
really
if he did direct Brave and the Bold.
And what's interesting is he says here at one of the Flash premieres, he says that he can't say whether he's directing a Batman movie or not. So I think now, while it's not James Gunn approved, insiders are saying he's already given the job, like that he's going to direct it.
Remember, I would have actually been hyped if the Russo brothers did direct it, but Andy Muschietti.
Yeah, it is coming out Chosen. Yeah, I think if he's ready, and we're not going to get Brave and the Bold for a while, so he'll have time to make that. So I think, yeah, Chosen was asking about the new Welcome to Derry Max show that they're working on. Yeah, I think it should be coming out soon. You're right about that. So I think you could definitely have Muschietti come back for something like Brave and the Bold. I'd be curious to see. What's even more interesting is, since we know he's worked with these actors before, did you see the other wild report that came out yesterday, Trevor?
Which is?
So apparently if Andy Muschietti comes back to do Brave and the Bold, it sounds like Bill Skarsgård is being eyed in a role in the new DC universe. No, nobody knows who he's playing, but somebody was reporting because they're looking for a younger Batman, but not a super young Batman. Somebody was saying that he was going to be Bruce Wayne, but I don't think they'll make Bill Skarsgård Bruce Wayne. I mean, I think we're still far away from finding out who's going to be Bruce Wayne in the new DC universe. That's going to take a long time to get there. I think we'll find out who plays the new Damian before we find out who plays Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That being said, at Comic-Con this year, there's one major casting that I'm expecting that gets announced that I think we're very close to. I think because it's going to be filmed in January of next year, I bet you if we don't have Superman and Lois announced at San Diego Comic-Con, we're at least getting Clark announced.
Yeah.
Would you say that's a fair bet? You think by San Diego Comic-Con we'll know who plays Superman in Superman's Legacy? I think.
I wouldn't rule out that maybe this year, next San Diego Comic-Con, we find out who Clark Kent is.
It feels like a big kind of like a thing that James Gunn would borrow from Kevin Feige for the right reasons. Like I feel like he just would want. I feel like Marvel's going to come out here and try and defend themselves because they've had some shit movies, and so they're going to be like San Diego Comic-Con. I think this Comic-Con is going to be like what happened when they had the Civil War versus BBS thing.
Yeah.
Where Marvel's going to be like, we're doing this, and we're getting ready for Secret Wars. And then DC's like, well, sorry, Mr. Feige, but we're just beginning. and it's going to be glorious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for Secret Wars, don't get me wrong, but like, you know.
Yeah, I got some new.
I want to hear more about what DC's going on. You know?
Yeah, I got some new updates on where the MCU is going for you that we're going to get into at the end of the meat and potatoes of the. It's good. It sounds good. It sounds good. It sounds like it could be some promising stuff. So we'll get into some good DC stuff, but then we got to talk about some good Marvel stuff. But then we got to get into some bad Marvel stuff as well, like the whole new.
Good Marvel news for a change, honestly.
Yeah, you'll like this news. You'll definitely like this stuff. It's good. If it ends up being true, it sounds very promising. So yeah, it's So I think back to the main topics. Yeah, I think we're gonna get some pretty big stuff for DC. I think James Gunn has hinted at that we haven't seen all of the main slate for the new DC universe, even just Chapter 1. So I imagine we'll get some more surprise announcement projects at San Diego Comic-Con for sure.
Yeah, I know. So those were just the some few, you know.
Yeah. So then you got. So yeah, the whole Andy Muschietti thing is like. So yeah, he could direct. It sounds like he could definitely direct Brave and the Bold. We'll have to wait and see for official confirmation, but it sounds like it's likely. And that's where we segue into our final big DC topic for the day, which is Flash reviews are out, guys. So.
And okay, I'm gonna take a wild guess here. I'm willing to bet these are all overwhelmingly positive.
So here's the thing: they're pretty positive. There is some criticism, but it's nothing it's not that they made a bad story. It's because of the hell that this movie has gone through. The CGI is not, at times there's moments of greatness, like the third act is supposedly good, but the CGI is a bit iffy at times. But keep in mind that we're also in the middle of a massive writer strike right now, and the CGI effects, VFX artists during COVID were not being paid very well. So I personally feel like these are just some unfortunate side effects that we're just going to have to live with. And if I'm being honest, as much as bad CGI can be a criticism, I would rather have a good story than have great CGI in a movie.
I agree.
And I don't want to say this, Trevor, because I know how much you love this movie, but the people that saw this movie have said that Flash is a better multiverse movie and is handled better than No Way Home was.
I don't take offense to it. I mean,
I just know you love No Way Home, so I didn't want to and I know you were when you got mad when they were comparing Flash to No Way Home, so I just didn't want you to get more upset.
I'm not as mad about it anymore, you know.
Right.
You know, I'm not really mad about it anymore because, you know, I've been hearing from especially James Gunn that Flash is a very good movie. So
yeah,
that gave me some hope. If I'm hearing from James Gunn that it's a good movie, if I'm hearing that, and in fact, I'm hearing that this is James Gunn's favorite movie of the year.
Yeah, he's loving it. I will say this. I will say this, and maybe my opinion will change when I actually see it. But based on these reviews that I'm seeing, I will be shocked if any movie this year can even touch Spider-Verse, because I don't think it can be topped. I just don't. And that doesn't mean there won't be good movies that come out, but it's going to be very hard to compete with what they did.
Well, what about John Wick Chapter 4?
Oh, that movie's still high up there too, but John Wick Chapter 4, you know, it set up some cool things, but there wasn't this big cliffhanger where we're looking forward to what we get to see in the next part, you know?
Yeah, true.
And just, I know we talked about this already, Trevor, but I'm scared for every other animated movie that comes out this year. Because living up to the standard of that movie is just going to be impossible. I'm sure Pixar is going to do great with Elementals, but the timing...
here's the thing, you know, when it comes to Pixar movies, like Elemental, I kind of feel like they don't have to I feel like they don't have to be a big juggernaut for animation. I feel like they can just make a good film, you know, make it decent and enjoyable, you know.
I just feel bad because, you know, Pixar has not been to the theaters in a while, and coming back
to last year with Lightyear.
Right, yeah. So they did Lightyear, and then that was pretty good. But it would be really hard to have a slap in the face where Pixar because you know what happens. You know, Spider-Verse came out in the beginning of June, and with Elementals coming out towards the end of June, I think that Spider-Verse is going to be one of those movies where we could be in the middle of July and people might still be consistently seeing it. I don't know if you've seen my the Spider-Man movies ranked, but even though it's such a hard cliffhanger, Across the Spider-Verse has surpassed my main favorite Spider-Man movies. I am just blown away by what they have been able to do in an animated movie like what they did.
I don't know, leaving it off on a cliffhanger?
Well, not even just that. Just So I love the first Spider-Verse, but one of my biggest criticisms of the first Spider-Verse was I didn't like how they made Kingpin, their version of Kingpin, sympathetic. Like,
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that either.
yeah, so I just didn't see Kingpin as like the terrifying antagonist. But dude, did they get the spot right? Oh man, I was just having the ball. Like, I love how like I'm gonna say something bold, like that's crazy, but I just think that Marvel has officially found, well, I guess say Sony and Marvel, their Spider-Verse work, they were able to do something with their first villain that the MCU was not able to do with Kang, and that's just sad. Like,
Well, I mean,
like,
the sad thing is, this is what I wanted from Multiverse of Madness, yet Sony were the ones that they were able to give it. not
how is
MCU.
Sony able to do the unthinkable? Like, how are they able to...
How is that even possible, though? Like, how did they even do that?
Oh yeah, after the stream, Trevor, after the podcast, you need to watch my Spider-Man movies ranked, because the beginning of it, there's a little surprise for you that I think you'll get a kick out of.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. It was hard for me to believe that Sony could actually pull this off after that monstrosity that was the movie that shall not be named.
Oh,
And
speaking of which,
Trolls being all like, "Oh, Morbius is a good movie. Morbius, best Marvel movie ever."
Speaking of which, I have a new thing for you that I think you're gonna love. I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers today, and they were doing their Spider-Man ranking, and they gave me a great new title for that movie. Do you know what the new title is?
What is it?
Instead of Morbius, just call it More BS, because that's what it is.
Well, for my name for Morbius, it's called Horbius.
But listen to it, right? So Morbius,
More BS.
says,
Yeah.
So it spells out more BS more than Morbius.
I was trying to like change the name of the logo from Morbius to Horbius.
Yeah. No, it just, it's really bad. And it's interesting because Sony did that atrocity, but, you know, we got to remember that the animation department is different, and I just think that they just were able to do... Also, this is another thing that I think is mind-blowing, is I think with two Spider-Verse movies, why do Phil and Chris Lord Miller, why have they not gotten a live-action, like, film with their name on it yet? Like, I think that we knew they were going to do
live-action Spider-Man movie.
Well, just in general, just a live-action project, because you know they did all the Lego movies. The Lego movies were a huge success. They did the first Spider-Verse movie, huge success. Across the Spider-Verse is even more successful than Spider-Verse. I think it's time Phil and Chris get something in live action. I mean, we knew they were going to get Solo, and then apparently Kathleen Kennedy didn't like Solo. Their pitch for Solo, right? And but
they were going to do Solo?
You didn't know that? Oh man!
Sons of bitches! Son of a little bitch!
You know what's even crazier? They were also at one point going to do. Oh, you look like you got down over here. Oh no, you're good. All right. They were also at one point going.
I respawned, and I lost a lot of shit. But
that sucks.
Okay.
There was also at one point they were apparently going to do Flash before it got to Machete. There was like 10 different directors for Flash. They had at one point the guy from Rick and Morty. Then they had Phil and Chris. So like.
Phil and Chris, they should have directed Solo, if you ask me.
Oh, I think so too.
Done it, and Kathleen Kennedy should have backed the fuck off.
I will say that I would have liked to see them direct, but at the same time, I am what's known as a solo defender. I think Ron Howard did a beautiful job with the movie that he was given, and I'm happy with the way that the movie turned out. Like, I know a lot of people shit on that movie, but honestly, it's one of the...
shit on it, but I think it could have been better.
But you got to look at it as you got to look at it as the situation that we faced is like there was so much that was happening with that movie that was a problem. The fact that it turned out as decent as it was, I think is pretty impressive.
True.
I mean, yeah, it would have been great if Phil and Lord directed it for sure. I mean, I think they should be given more stuff, which would be great. So let's talk about these So we're talking about these Flash reviews. So yeah, so there are people. So let's get into the big things that I've heard so far. So number one, the movie is fun. It's a multiverse movie. The movie's fun. Like I said, the biggest issue I'm seeing is people got a bit of an issue with the CGI, but there are a lot of comic book movies that suffer from that CGI problem.
I know.
The other thing I've heard is, on the positive side, because we're finally seeing, even though Flash was in the Snyder Cut and the movie that won't be named being the Justice League.
Justice League.
Both those movies, Flash was more of a side character, so we really didn't get to see his powers really utilized. But
Yeah.
even though we had 9 seasons of The Flash, here we really get to see what a big budget Flash, like from the comics and stuff, really looks like with his powers being utilized. I've heard his powers look very good. I feel like Zack Snyder just wanted to show him running, and that was all he focused on. Where I feel like it looks like Machete really wants to show everything from the time travel to the throwing lightning to the just everything that makes the Flash, and so that is awesome. The biggest thing that we got to talk about is, even though he's barely briefly in this movie, so the number one thing we got to talk about is there are 2 Ezra Millers in this movie, and supposedly one of the Ezras was made to be in the movie to be the annoying Ezra, so that you could root for the good Ezra, so you could kind of be like, all right, we hate Ezra Miller, so let's hate this little shit, so then we get to hate on Ezra a little bit for what he's done.
Oh, we're talking about the one with the long hair?
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
So there is one that's a little shit apparently, which is pretty
That's a
good.
little shit.
So I like that they're kind of going meta with that at least. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So you got that, and then also from everyone I've talked to that's seen this movie, and even the people I've watched the reviews, people are saying that Ezra Miller as the lead actor for this movie, for playing both personas of himself, he does a damn good job as the Flash in this movie. I'm hearing that his performance is very good. You feel the emotion, you feel the heart, you feel like it's a good performance. Is it like the most amazing comic book Flash performance ever? No. But I'm hearing that for the movie it's pretty dang good. So, and it made people kind of question more their feelings on Ezra. So I think that will be a fun little piece to get into once everyone sees the movie, to see how everyone feels about Ezra after they see this movie. Now, obviously, Ezra Miller will always be a scumbag in terms of being a person and the thing that he did, but that doesn't mean that someone horrible can not act in good movies that we like.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important. I think it's important for us to be able to separate.
Heard.
Yeah, except she's the only exception. But we do know that Ezra has been trying to get help, and they've been working on the process to help him and everything. So I think he will. I think not that everything will be forgiven all at once, but I think good things will happen. And I think that there could be a potential, like hopefully a resurgence for Ezra. Hopefully Ezra gets clean, and then maybe he gets more respect from this movie. But
Yeah,
the big thing we got to talk about though is, so we already kind of talked about Sasha. I'm hearing great things about Supergirl. I'm hearing she's not in a lot of the movie, but when she's there, she's great. And the way that they use her powers supposedly are very, I think they've referred to it as transformative. It's very different than anything we've ever seen, even with the likes of our previous Superman being Henry Cavill. And for you Snyder fans listening, keep in mind, Henry Cavill's seen The Flash, and he loved it.
He loved it.
And he's not in The Flash, so praise from Henry Cavill is a good sign for the future of DC. I think that's very good, and it's very mature of him to admit a movie that he's not in is still very good. So I'm proud of Henry Cavill, appreciating his cousin in the movie.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, and I'm still holding out hope that we might get a little snippet of old footage of Henry, but we'll see. Like, if we don't, it's not the end of the world, but it would be just a little nice on the icing of the cake, I think. And they have said there are some surprises that people didn't expect in this movie. That would be a pretty nice surprise. So I think that's going to be really cool. I'm glad that we're going to get... We haven't had Supergirl in live action besides the Arrowverse, so it's good for her to be in this movie. I think this new Justice League team they're putting together, their true Multiverse of Madness team up, looks really fun. And that's where we got to get to our next big thing. Even though he's barely in the movie, I'm hearing that Ben Affleck really gave his all for this final time as Batman. Even though he's only in a little bit of it, I heard he really wanted to just perfect his character so he could finally play the version that fans wanted to see.
Yeah.
And you can
like,
see that.
I know that his cameo has been cut in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, so like the fact that,
I think this is going to be a good send-off for him. I'm excited, even if... I think it sounds like it is. And actually, something I heard about this movie that I wanted to bring up with you and get your opinion on, a lot of people are talking about with the reshoots on this, that this movie would be, you know, a way to start the new DC universe, which it will, I think, in some capacity because of the whole Flashpoint concept. But I'm also hearing that Andy Muschietti is actually a big fan of Snyder's work, and he wanted to pay homage. Now, he's not going to be like, oh, restore the Snyderverse like those crazy people, right? But
exactly.
He wanted to make a love letter to Zack Snyder's work.
And I think that's good. I mean, Zack
if you
Snyder,
look
he did great work with the DC universe. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I loved Man of Steel. I loved Batman vs Superman, the Ultimate Edition, obviously.
Yeah.
And I love the Snyder Cut.
Like, and I think this is him making a little love letter and wrapping the bow around it, because this is, in my opinion, this is going to be the last we see of any of the remnants of the Snyderverse. So I think so I think this is a nice little, and maybe there'll be some things in Aquaman that reference it or whatever, but like, as I've heard some things about Aquaman Lost Kingdom where it's almost going to feel like a new DC Universe movie. Like, I've heard...
I mean, I understand, like, from 4 test screenings that it's not a good film, but, you know...
But test screenings have been wrong before. There was test screenings...
They've been wrong. I mean, I'm hoping it's a good film.
They said there was test screenings from Wonder Woman 1984 that said that movie was good, and look what happened with that.
Yeah...
I just hope
we know what happened with 1984. It's like it's kind of the reason. It's kind of a big reason why I don't want Wonder Woman 3. So
well, we won't get that movie, so that's fine. And honestly, as much as I like the actress, I'm fine with a Wonder Woman recast. I know people love Gal, but I'm open to a new actor or a new actress. I am. I'm open to it.
I mean, I'd be bummed if they didn't bring back Gal Gadot, but I understand that it is for the best. And I
think for me, the only problem is I'd love to have these people return, but it's just so hard when you're building a new universe to have people like, well, why does she get to stay when he's gone? Like, it just doesn't look right, you know? Like, it just...
I agree.
I feel like you either reboot all or you don't. Like, there's some exceptions, like we know
DC
James...
The universe does need a complete reset.
Yeah, and I mean, we know James Gunn clearly, like, he's got big plans for Jason Momoa as either Arthur Curry or Lobo or both, right? Like, so I mean,
I'm kind of just ready to see him as Lobo at this point. You know?
I'm ready to see him as Lobo because that's what I'm telling you.
The trouble that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom's been in, I'm kind of just ready to see him as Lobo. Yes.
I mean, I think we might still get him as Aquaman in some capacity because it seems like he makes it seem like we're not going to say goodbye to him, but you never know. The future is uncertain. We'll have to wait and see. But one thing I do wonder about is, speaking of Lobo, I'm waiting for you to go see Fast X because, dude, I'm telling you, the first 10 minutes of that movie, you're going to be like, even though he's in a Fast and the Furious movie, it was like this is his letter to James Gunn, being like, hey, James, you want Lobo? I got him right here. Like, he's got some moments in that movie where you're just like, Lobo is bringing it. Like, you're just like, he's on a motorcycle, being the big man, you know, doing some missions. Hey,
come back here, bitch.
Like, I just feel like,
come on.
I just feel like you're gonna get that vibe when you watch that movie, Trevor. You're gonna be like, oh man, this is his Lobo audition. I love it.
Oh no, you don't. Come here.
Like the moment you see him on that motorcycle in Rome, Trevor, you're gonna be like, oh, the big man's coming out to play.
Yeah. Man,
Why are you running from us? You do know he just like disappeared through the doors? Coward.
What the fuck? Bitch, you got away.
That was so weird.
Bitch got away.
This must be where he lives or something. It must be his apartment. He's like, I'm gonna hide. Yeah, so I think
Weasley little shit.
So one thing I'll say that I'm really happy to hear about The Flash from these reviews, and I wanted to get your take on this, is not only is The Flash going to have great action, it's got great humor. And we know the MCU has been known for overcooking the humor. It sounds like this movie, when it does the humor, it's when there needs to be humor, and then when it's time to get down to serious in the multiverse, crazy stakes, crazy seriousness, it gets real.
Kind of reminds me of one of the reasons Aqualad, Ms. Martian, and Superboy from Young Justice literally crossed over to Teen Titans Go just to roast them about being funny when they don't need to be.
I mean, I think it's, for me personally, I hope that James Gunn, with the work he did, I'm glad they're giving someone like James Gunn over to DC, because even though you have characters like Batman that really work well with the dark and brooding tone, I think DC needs more humor. I think there's characters like
I agree.
I think there's characters like Shazam, Flash, a bit of Superman. Like they need that like more hopeful side. And if we learned anything from the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, there are some great hilarious characters in the DC mythos that I think can be utilized quite well. So yeah, I think it's good that, and not only are they saying this movie's funny, but one thing I really kind of worried about with this movie is I didn't like how Ezra Miller portrayed Flash in his previous appearances, because he didn't seem very Flash-like to me. And I'm glad to hear in this movie that he's kind of like, you know, your Peter Parker weird kid, like weird Barry Allen, having weird emotions, weird feelings about things, and that's how Barry Allen should be. Like, I mean, I think Barry being funny is just a part of the character. It just reminds me of Across the Spider-Verse. I can't stop thinking of Ben Parker, played by Jake Johnson. Be like, you're Spider-Man. You're the only Spider-Man that's not funny. We're supposed to be funny.
That's true.
Like I love that conversation. That conversation in that movie just kills me.
But I still really love the part where like one of the Spider-Man seeing a therapist and he's like, and then I looked at my uncle and let me guess, he died.
You know what the best
I find that hilarious.
You know what the best thing really is so I've been listening to Lonely Island more, and did you see that Andy Samberg from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and from Lonely Island is he played Ben Reilly?
Yeah.
And his attitude in the movie is freaking hilarious. I love the scene. I think it was another Lonely Island member too. I love the scene where he's like, "There's nowhere to run, Spider-Man. We got you surrounded." and then he gets out the window and he's like, "Sorry guys, my bad. There was somewhere to run."
There was somewhere to run.
See, there's just something about that sort of like humor that just works perfectly in this movie. My favorite comedy scene in that entire movie, though, is the scene where, well, there's actually two of them I really like. One, I love the scene where he's trying to get the cakes back for his dad's speech, and the giant little armadillo creature steps out in front of the bus, and he just zaps him and kicks him. He's like, "Oh, I gotta get going about my day. Sorry, I don't got time for this." And then the other scene is when you have the conversation after they meet the Spot for the first time. You have the conversation between Jefferson and between Jeff and Miles, right? But Miles is as his Spider-Man. And he's talking about he's trying to have the heart-to-heart of is everything like you think your son's gonna get it all figured out, and then and then they're in the moment of the scene, and he's like I don't know, man, and he's like, well, maybe you should get off his ass a little. And wait, what?
I love that part. Maybe you should get off his ass a little, man.
That shit was great.
That was funny.
Yeah, see, that's the type of
I
humor
love
that
that part.
that's the type of humor you need. It's just fantastic stuff like that. But yeah, so
agree.
I really liked. I'm gonna be making a lot of Spider-Verse content this week because I have a spoiler talk going out. I just did my Spider-Man ranking for you guys. I got some other great stuff for you. We're gonna talk about, but we're gonna get into that Marvel stuff in a minute too. But yeah, so we'll finish up this Flash stuff. So now we got to talk about the man, the myth, the legend. Of course, as expected, what do you think the most talked about thing in regards to the Flash movie is?
Well,
What do you think about when I say the man, the myth, the legend?
dude, Michael fucking Keaton.
So I heard that not only is Michael Keaton amazing in this movie, but he has more screen time than both Toby and Andrew had in No Way Home. And also not only that, but like when he's in this movie, even though it is the Flash movie, Keaton, like, it feels like Keaton is like, it feels like even though this is a Flash movie, it's like we're watching Batman 3 after Batman Returns. And it's like he steps right back immediately into that Tim Burton world, but in a modern day thing. And even though, you know, those old movies, unfortunately, we didn't have the effects or the stunts that we could do back then, it sounds like seeing Keaton in the modern day is straight up badass.
I couldn't agree more.
I mean, I've heard people say that he's so badass in this movie when he does the Batman action that people have said that even if it was a temporary thing, they wouldn't mind him doing a Batman 3, maybe just set in the Tim Burton world. Since James Gunn's going to do Elseworlds, why not give Keaton another movie all to himself?
I wouldn't mind that.
Because I heard he's awesome in this movie. Like I heard we've seen the one scene in the trailer where he's fighting the guys and doing all doing the grapple hook, the batarang, and then doing the kicks. And there was some cool stuff we saw with Keaton in the older movies, but this is really going to take it up a notch, and I can't wait for that. I think a lot of people are already saying what we're saying is they're going to walk out of this movie, despite it's the Flash movie. I think a lot of people are going to be like, they're going to look at how Keaton is treated in this movie, and probably some of the small stuff that's with Ben Affleck as well, and they'll be like, yeah, Machete should direct Batman, because he clearly loves Batman, and that's what we want from someone who directs Batman. I think, I'm going to say something bold right now. I think there's only been 2 directors that have done Batman so far in movies that really understand and know Batman. And do you know who those directors are?
Tim Burton and Matt Reeves. Oh yeah, no.
Yep.
Tim Burton and Matt Reeves.
Yep, those are the 2 I think. I just don't think, and I know this might be a hot take because I know The Dark Knight is still a good movie. I don't think Christopher Nolan understood Batman enough. I don't think he got
I think he was
what
more
makes
too
Batman
focused on like the visual effects for the movie.
Yeah, and making it too grounded and not really breathe in the Batman mythos.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I do think that even with The Dark Knight being
I
in
love the Nolan films, like even though I love the Nolan movies, like I feel like Batman wasn't, Christian Bale as Batman wasn't too fleshed out enough.
I'm gonna say something bold right now. So someone was asking me about this. Somebody when they watched The Flash, they're like, of all DC, what's your favorite DC movie ever right now? Like, what is to you the greatest DC movie?
You're
like when
asking me that?
Yeah, so he was asking the question, so I thought I would do a segment on the podcast. So everyone in the chat, drop your favorite current DC movie right now. If you've seen The Flash and you love it, you can say that. Otherwise, if you haven't, say the movie that you've seen it a million times, you love it more than any other DC movie. Like, it's kind of like your Return of the King, right? It's a movie you always go back to, and it just gets better every time. I know my answer.
There are movies I do want to say, but also, I mean, there are multiple movies I'd like to give to that kind of, like, award, but, like, I don't know if I might get a different take on it.
To me, here's the thing we do. This is our opinion. We can say what we feel personally as a DC fan works. To me, it comes down to not only the story and the stuff you enjoy, but it also comes down to the character, right? Like when you think of the DC characters that have shown up in live action, what movie depicts your favorite story with your favorite character, right? Like,
I think I'm gonna. All right, you ready to hear mine?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say it. The Batman.
You know, it's funny. You and I have the same one. That's crazy.
Yes. The Batman.
You want to know something? You want to know something bold? So I was talking to Andy the other day. He was doing a poll in one of his videos, and his poll was, what's the better Batman movie, The Dark Knight or The Batman? And I straight up texted him and said, I know I'm probably gonna get some hate for this, but
dude,
I think
the Batman.
I just think the Batman is now. You can argue what's the better movie, but I think the Batman is the best Batman movie because it's about Batman. Where The Dark Knight was good because of the Joker, so it's a different kind of atmosphere. So like, The Dark Knight is a great movie and considered a masterpiece because it's about Joker, where I think the Batman is a masterpiece because it's about Batman.
I mean, I agree.
And I think we get 2 more movies in the Matt Reeves universe, and the Penguin as a show added onto this. With that level of quality, I think the Matt Reeves universe could easily rival the Nolan trilogy. Like, I think it could definitely, because we're just getting started with Batman. We could imagine seeing this Batman grow up. Something we're going to get that we've never gotten is we're going to see Robert Pattinson's Batman. One of the greatest things about the Batman is you start the movie, he's a vigilante. He almost feels like an MMA fighter when he starts the movie. He's beating on criminals, but he still doesn't kind of know like where to put all his power and what he's going to use his strength for, how he's doing everything, still trying to figure out how to be the greatest detective and all that stuff. So like, but by the end of the movie, he's kind of like starting to be the hero that, like they say in The Dark Knight, he's not the one that you need, but
he's
the one
that everyone deserves.
Yeah, and so I feel like he's gotten to that point at the end of the movie. So his journey in these next 2 movies is going to be incredible. And even though it's going to be sad not having this Batman in the main DC universe, I think him for Elseworlds is just going to work better, and I think it's going to be cool.
I agree.
But
I agree that like the Batman is set in its own kind of universe.
Yeah.
It gives him a chance to stand out more.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah, and because
it just works.
It does, and because he's not interacting with more funny characters, you get to solo in on his story and his villains and the things that make his journey so interesting. But I do think that whoever our next main DC Universe Batman is, I do think he will also be a new great Batman. But I think they're going to do what they should have done when they had Ben Affleck.
Not George Clooney.
Yeah, it won't be George Clooney. It's going to be, he's too old, man. They want someone that's maybe only a couple years older than Superman. Like,
exactly.
I think so. So let's play devil's advocate here. All right. So I'm gonna guess Superman's gonna be 25, 26 in the new DC universe.
Most likely.
And I'm gonna say I think Batman will be 32, 33, 34. Because when you think of Batman's story and you think of the journey, that's kind of where he starts to be in his prime. And I think that if you're going to do the whole Damian thing, you want a Batman that's actively kicking the shit out of people, but's not too old. I think if you do the Affleck thing and you make him 50 years old and he has Damian, then you're not getting that full Batman and Robin experience.
Exactly.
So I think anything in the 30s, I don't want him too young. I don't want him 25, because we got our young Batman. That's Pattinson. We're gonna see Pattinson's journey grow up. So I want our Batman in the DC universe to be an experienced Batman. And what I want this Batman to be is what they should have done if the Snyder universe was more successful. I want our DCU Batman to be what's called our Justice League Batman, where you're gonna have this Batman be the one that deals with like the dark sides, the brainiacs, the more supernatural crazy threats, right?
Right.
But then you're gonna get Pattinson will deal with like the more serial killer, crime scene type of threats. Welcome to the podcast, guys. So we gotta find more bad guys to beat up. So I think you're gonna see that. I think you're gonna see that side of him just like wailing on dudes, and I think that's gonna be fantastic. Just getting to see that.
It's kind of all the more reason why I don't know if like. Do you think it's a good idea for Mr. Freeze to be the main villain of Batman Part 2?
I think you can do Mr. Freeze grounded. I've said this before. We need a new Mr. Freeze after what happened with after what happened with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and even though we don't like to talk about that movie, but I
already
also
know the perfect actor who could play Victor Freeze.
I have a couple too. What's your actor?
For me, it'd be, I'd say like the guy. I'd say, you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Giancarlo Esposito. You know, because he's
a
played
good
Moff
pick.
Gideon on Mando and Gus Fring on Batman. I mean, on Breaking Bad. Sorry, not that. Both started with the guy confused.
I'm gonna go with
But,
someone.
you know,
I'm gonna go for someone from Breaking Bad that people have talked about for years, and even though he's getting a little up there in age, I think he can still do it.
Who?
I think you give it to Bryan Cranston, man. I think Cranston.
Bryan Cranston? Oh,
Yeah,
that,
dude.
That actually wouldn't be a bad idea.
I mean, he was rumored. He was rumored for Lex Luthor at one time. He was rumored for Gordon at one time. I mean, Freeze could be it.
Yeah.
But I like yours too. I think that's great too. I mean, especially since we don't know if we'll see Moff Gideon again. This will be a great new role for him to join into. So yeah, I think we're gonna see Freeze. I mean, they're talking about right now in the Matt Reeves universe that they're gonna find some way to make Clayface find a way to make him grounded. Like, I don't know how they're gonna. Like, I don't know if you've been hearing that, but there's been talks like they're gonna be like Mike Flanagan's working on a Clayface movie with Matt Reeves, and then he might appear in the Batman 2 potentially. Like, so there's talks about Clayface being entered into the universe already. So I'm curious to see how they're going to make that sound somewhat grounded. So we'll see what they do. You got company, it looks like. Stay off him. So yeah, I think what we're hearing about Keaton is great. I think I think when we think of our favorite DC movies, I think Batman. Yeah, absolutely. We love our Batman. I think I think the more Batman, the merrier. Seeing Keaton's going to be great in Flash is what I'm most looking forward to. I think we're all looking forward to it. It's going to be great, guys. We're going to be watching Flash in a couple weeks. If you guys have been able to see early screenings, don't be afraid to leave us your thoughts on it. It'd be great.
I just wish there were early screenings here in Minnesota.
There was one at my theater, but I didn't find out about it until too late, and there was no information on how to get tickets, and by the time there was, it was sold out. So it's like, that's so stupid. Yeah, it was so stupid. I know, I was annoyed. It's okay. I'm probably going to try and screen it early. Since I'm going to work that Thursday, I'm going to try and watch it that night and just stay as spoiler-free as I possibly can. Okay, I noticed they started releasing a few clips, but I'm not going to watch any more clips. There's one clip I watched, which was the clip that we saw from the trailer extended, where it was just him revealing himself to the Flashes, and it's just him putting on the Batman suit for the first time, and he's like, yeah, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Just, I love that because Keaton is so confident that even though we got things like Robert Pattinson as Batman now, Keaton will always be that Tobey Maguire OG for Batman. Like, he'll always be that Batman. And like, you can say what you will about who your favorite Batmans are. Like, I think Pattinson still is my favorite Batman just from seeing him in one movie, and I think it's going to continue to go higher. But to me, I got Keaton at number 2 on my Batman list because I think Keaton was the best Batman we saw until, like, I know some people have said, I know some people are like, well, Ben Affleck was, but I can't give Ben Affleck the points because of the movies he was in. We never really got to see a full Batman solo movie.
Film.
Yeah, he didn't get a solo movie. And that's the thing, the 2 solo movies we got with Keaton, despite the time period we were in, are incredible. Like I'm rewatching, I'm going to rewatch Man of Steel, both Batman 1989 and then also the Batman Returns, and a few other films. But specifically just going back to Keaton's old journey is going to be such an amazing trip for me because I just love watching those movies. People don't talk about, people always like praise Heath Ledger so much as Joker, but nobody ever talks about Jack Nicholson anymore. It makes me sad.
I know.
For our first live-action Joker besides Cesar Romero, he was still so good.
Yeah, my dad told me he used to watch the old Adam West Batman, and he remembers Cesar Romero's Joker, you know.
I mean, I thought he was still pretty good for that. Yeah, for the 60s Batman, he was fine.
He showed me, my dad had showed me some, like, episodes of Adam West Batman with Cesar Romero's Joker, and, you know.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
'60s Batman is just a fun time. I think some people
Exactly, it is fun.
they look at that show and they just don't understand how they don't. Some people just aren't able to accept Batman as campy because they get used to the New 52 darker like Batman or the Detective Comics Batman. So it's hard for them to like come to terms with a lighter tone Batman. But in some aspects, the lighter tone can work. Like I'm kind of hoping for the main DC universe that our Batman is wearing blue instead of wearing the normal black. Because we know Patson's got the black going on. I'd like to see. We saw a bit of it with Ben Affleck's new suit in the Flash. I'd really like to see.
I'd like to see him in the Brave and the Bold suit. You know.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I think it'd be great.
Cool.
I think the blue cowl would just be really cool and just kind of cement him as maybe this Batman isn't, even though he's tough on Damian, maybe he's going to be a little more lighthearted Batman. And I think that would be really cool.
Though I still want him to go to Damian like, Damian, you're a spoiled little brat. We don't kill people. Right? That's not the hero way. Like,
he'll still.
I was trained to be an assassin by the League of Shadows.
He'll still do that.
That's train me.
I still think he'll do that. I still think he'll do the whole thing. You know, James Gunn has said that Damian Wayne is his favorite Robin, so I'm super interested to see how he's going to integrate that into his universe.
And although my favorite Robin is Dick Grayson, you know, I still would like to see him come as Nightwing. You know, I want to see him start out as Nightwing in this.
You know, I always feel like whenever people come up with the question about as Robin, I always preferred Dick Grayson when he becomes Nightwing. But I like all of them on their Robin journey. I think they all have been good as Robin. If I had to pick someone I want to see always as Robin, I think Tim Drake is who I would think about as Robin.
I think Tim Drake is my favorite Robin. You know.
But I also think Damian has a lot of potential to be good.
I know. I mean, he had potential in the DC animated movie universe, like in Son of Batman, Batman vs. Robin, and
I like seeing him when he was paired with the Teen Titans. He was pretty fun.
I know. Oh man.
I would have liked to see him appear in
some of the dialogue that he had in.
I would have liked a cameo of him in. I would have liked a cameo of him in Titans. I would have liked to see him, like maybe Bruce was like, "See, you're training Jason. I'm training a new Robin now." That would have been kind of fun. Just
Damian.
Yeah.
If you're training Damian, dude, that guy's a spoiled little brat.
Yeah, Dick would just be not a fan of him right away. It'd be funny.
I know. I love the moments that Dick and Damian have had in the New 52. And
well, I think it's funny because I see two sides of both conversations. I think Dick is pissed off because Bruce replaced him, even though Dick moved on. But then on the other side, I think Damian is pissed off because even though Damian is always going to be Batman's blood, I think Bruce will always look at Dick as his successor and like his near son. So I think that's going to be hard for Damian to be your actual boy and be his actual blood and son and just be like, you'll never be your father. I'm sorry. It's just like
and that's why Batman was so upset when Dick got killed in the Injustice storyline, and he blamed Damian for it. You know.
So I hope we get a storyline in the new DC universe at some point where maybe Batman retires at some point or he dies and then doesn't come back, and then we get I'd love to see Dick Grayson run around as Batman for a little bit.
Yeah, sorry about that.
What happened? You got a hairball?
No, it's.
Yeah, so we talked about the Flash. So we're excited to see where the Flash goes. I'm excited to see what we're going to see in a couple of weekends. So now let's go into some Marvel stuff. All right, so we're going to talk about the cringy stuff first, guys. We'll talk about the bad, then we'll talk about the good. So.
All right, should I go first?
Yep.
Okay, guys. So as you understand, recently today, Captain America 4, previously titled New World Order, kind of got a name change, and apparently, I read an article confirming that Anthony Mackie apparently confirmed that they changed the name of Captain America's fourth film, from New World Order to Brave New World, which sounds fucking stupid. I mean, I'm excited for the film, but I am not a big fan of the title, alright? I'm just gonna say this point blank. I'm sure it'll be a decent film, you know, I'm sure we'll get to see Anthony Mackie kicking ass, you know, and all that stuff. But as for the title, you know, what new world, alright? What new world? We're on Earth. He's an Avenger, in Earth's mightiest heroes. Like, what do you mean new world?
Yeah,
Honestly, guys,
it just cringe. I have a theory about why they changed that title, and I don't like what I think they're gonna do with it. So here's my take. So I've heard some rumors that this is gonna be the first MCU movie where they start to reintroduce the Avengers, and we know we heard about some Hulks appearing and some other things going on. So I think there may be we might get a new team of Avengers, because, you know, if you're gonna have Sam Wilson in this movie, you might as well give him his own team of Avengers at this point. So at least that's what I hope for. So I think we're just gonna have to wait and see. But this title, they really didn't have to change it. It seems like there's some major weird things going on behind the scenes. And
yeah.
Marvel, for me, even though there is some good Marvel news we're going to talk about in a little bit, Marvel has still not won me back after how they treated me in Phase 4, and with how things are handled. In my opinion, I know some people liked Ant-Man, but I had a lot of problems with Ant-Man 3 still.
I understand that there were quite a bit of problems with Ant-Man 3 that you had.
One of the things that one of my biggest things that I'm always going to stick by is, I'm sad that they're going to base... Well, not only was Kang shouldn't have lost, but I'm so upset about the idea, especially with the Jonathan Majors stuff happening right now. One of the things I'm really worried about is when they introduced the concept of variants in Doctor Strange and even in Spider-Man, right? When they did in Doctor Strange and Ant-Man, variants are just becoming a way for, cue the Deadpool clip, right? Because Deadpool says in, I think it's Deadpool 1, he said, well, that's just lazy writing, right? So, and the reason why he says that is because I think DC is going to, not DC, I think Marvel is using, using the variant concept to just make watered down versions of their original characters, and I'm not a fan of it. So, you know, it was cool that they gave us John Krasinski as Reed Richards for a minute, but then we didn't really see anything with him, and they just kind of killed, right?
I agree. I mean, that was ridiculous. I mean,
but
they
then
really should have done more with that.
But then here's my thing with Ant-Man, right? And this is my big thing, right? So basically, you mean to tell me, we know that maybe off screen, maybe in like Civil War, there's a deleted scene somewhere on the cutting floor where Ant-Man and Captain America had some like sparring, right? And maybe he learned how to fight from him or something, right? But from what we know in the Ant-Man movies, Scott, even though he's got these powers and this tech and stuff that gives him the ability to shrink and do all these really good things, when his powers and when he can't shrink and he can't use his full powers to his potential, from a hand-to-hand combat standpoint, even when he was training how to punch from Hope Van Dyne, who basically had a style of MMA that she was learning and stuff, I just don't believe that you can train in MMA for a couple movies and then beat Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah.
Because Hope Van Dyne is like maybe a brown or a green or a blue belt at best in her skills. She's skilled enough, but she's not the best at her skills. Where Kang probably has like 10th degree by 1,000 black belts. Like you would think it would be like 100 to 10 degree. And I know they have the concept where we saw in the end credits scene we saw millions of different variants of Kang. But my fear is that since they have this concept of variants, they called the Kang we met in Ant-Man Kang the Conqueror, right? And so now they have these other Kang the Conquerors, but what happens if, just like our Kang the Conqueror, all these Kangs are just weak-ass bitches and it's just watered-down versions of the original Kang? Because...
I agree. I am a bit worried about that.
I'm very worried because here's the thing I'll say. One of my biggest praise for Ant-Man when we first meet Kang and before he fights Ant-Man in the movie, Kang was amazing. Like, he had that, Jonathan Majors had that Vader presence. Like, when he stepped in the room, like one of my favorite quotable lines from Ant-Man, the only line I'll ever quote, is when MODOK... Well, that was a good one from the trailer, but I like the one where MODOK is introduced and MODOK is talking to Scott, and then Kang walks in. He's like, "Do not speak when I am in the room." Like, that shit was badass. He's just like, "No, you don't understand, man. I'm your boss. You do not speak when I am in the room." Like that. Like, I was just getting chills from him, man. I just had that like villain, like chills. Like, you just felt like instant chills from what he was able to do. All right, what's our next mission?
Just working on my gear real quick.
Okay, so I'm just worried about this whole variant thing, that they're going to take it in a place that just isn't good. So to me, that's my biggest...
doesn't work?
Yeah, it just... Oh, I got the Beyond suit for Nightwing now. I mean, I can't wait to try this shit out. New batons, too. New sticks, let's go.
I want to do these toxic and reinvent rounds, but I don't have the salvage for it yet. It's legendary,
Oh, that
so I'll
sucks.
just stick with these
Yeah,
rounds,
so basically...
which should hopefully do some damage.
Yeah, so basically, I think, like, yeah, so with this variant contest, the concept makes me very nervous, and we still don't know what's going on with the Jonathan Majors thing, so that's a problem in itself. But now, as much as we've bitched about and complained about the bad news for Marvel, thankfully, to Spider-Verse, there is some good news that we got to discuss for Marvel.
I know, some good news for you.
So, after the... Well, actually, we have one more bad thing before we get to the good news. I forgot. Even though we kind of talked about this already. So, I just cannot believe what the Marvel Comics have done to the Punisher, man. It just... it makes me sick to my stomach. Like, if you guys aren't subscribed to Berserk Titan, or you haven't seen my channel and watched my video, watch my Punisher canceled rant, because... Guys, it's just so bad what they're doing to him. And I'm not going to elaborate on it because it's the comics, and I stopped reading new Marvel comics a long time ago. So I'm pissed about this thing, but I'm not going to even waste...
focused on DC comics. You know?
Yeah, so I'm not going to waste my breath. Which, speaking of which, give me 1 second. I'll be right back on stream. I got some new comics. So we had an interesting situation that happened today after I visited my grandma in the hospital, where Ella's parents dropped off some gifts we had some late Christmas gifts from my fiance's family, because we hadn't seen each other for a long time, so we hadn't exchanged gifts. And let me just say, I got some really cool comics for DC that I can't wait to show off. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab them for you guys so you guys can see them. All right. All right. So I'm back. So I've been trying to get Ella into the Harley Quinn show, and I think we're on season 3 right now, because I still got to watch that Valentine's special I never checked out yet. And so I got this new comic today from Ella's family, who also collect comics, and it's a DC Universe Rebirth Harley Quinn Batman comic featuring Batman and the Joker. And I'm going to review these comics for you guys too. I haven't done comic reviews in a long time, but on the channel I'll read these and review them as well. So we got this one. I'm showing it on screen for you guys. It's a newer one. It also advertised, unfortunately, when it advertised when the Justice League movie was in theaters. But this comic I've not read yet. It looks pretty cool. It's got Harley Quinn, but it was sold for Batman Day. So they it's supposed to be Batman Day, but it's actually Harley Quinn Day, and it's a #1 issue. Now, you guys ready to see the grand piece de resistance?
You know it.
This is gonna make people lose their shit, considering what this is a comic of. This is the same Harley Quinn Batman Day One, but it's a new cover for The Dark Knight Returns with Batman running through the lightning, but then Harley's there as well because it features Batman and Harley in it. So yeah, those are some new comics I just got, guys. We got some new DC ones. So I'm pretty hyped about that. So now we kind of talked about the Punisher thing. Before we wrap up the podcast, let's talk about the big thing. The big piece of Marvel news I heard today is pretty exciting. So, as we know, coming off from Spider-Verse, there are some reports that some Spider-Verse characters may be potentially coming in live action. And this is where we talk about where things get big. So coming off the success of Spider-Verse, it sounds like, according to a popular report, Marvel is going to take a page from what Spider-Verse just did. Which is, it sounds like, did you find our next mission yet, or are you still doing gear?
Waiting on you. I'm just waiting on you.
I'm ready whenever.
Alright.
Yeah, so basically, what's happening here is there's a report going around. I don't know how legit this is yet. It seems like it's got some pretty good sources backing it. And it sounds like that they want to make Secret Wars split. And obviously, even though we have Kang Dynasty and we got Secret Wars, unlike Infinity War and Endgame, Kevin Feige wants to take what Infinity War and Endgame were, but he wants to go bigger, but not go like Infinity War and Endgame for his big movies, but he doesn't want to go big for the sake of going big. He wants to do it with purpose. And I think that's a good rule to. I think it's a good rule to have. And so when we talk about this, it's being talked about that they want to have, how do I put this? They want to do Secret Wars as 2 movies instead of 1 movie, as a part 1 and a part 2. And then they also want to do like in between. So how we have like phase 4, or phase 5 and phase 6. They want to do like a phase 5.5 or 5.6, whatever. So it's like an in-between phase between the phase, right? Because we know in like phase 6 and 5, you're getting Fantastic Four, Secret Wars, Kang Dynasty, all these big things, right? So they want to do like an in-between phase, and apparently this in-between phase would be like a Battle World phase to further establish the Battle World section of Secret Wars. You got thoughts on this, Trevor?
I think that would be a perfect idea.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff for the multiverse saga to be set up and hopefully not fail to lead up to, but I think that actually works as a better approach.
Yeah, I think if this is true, it will be a good decision, and I think this is the right direction to take it in. It seems like it's a good choice. It really does. I'm a fan of what's being said. So, and then in terms of live action characters in the multiverse saga, from animated to live action, there's been some reports that seem to indicate that because of how crazy with the multiverse Spider-Verse is going, and now that for those of you guys who have obviously seen Spider-Verse, I won't spoil it here, but there are some live action characters that show, or a live action character that shows up that could hint at a big live action crossover between the Spider-Verse and the MCU. And I think Trevor knows which character I'm talking about.
Oh, you know it.
So, now, when they say some Spider-Verse characters appearing in Secret Wars, there are 2 characters I think that make sense to appear. Now, how they appear, it's going to be interesting to see. But I believe that, based on the reports that we're getting, I believe that Miles and Gwen will appear in live action in Secret Wars.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
But now here's my only question with this, right? Because if they're doing live action, they can't have, for some of these, you can't have the same actors that were in the Spider-Verse playing these characters if they come into live action.
Yeah.
So the person for Miles, I think, will be someone different, but it will still be awesome. Because I heard the actor for Miles, I think, isn't a teenager. I think it's an adult who voices him in Spider-Verse. So they probably would want someone for Miles a bit younger, kind of like the Tom Holland route. Don't you think that would be something they probably would want, Trevor?
Yeah.
But I will say this, and I did a video about this before Spider-Verse came out. I'm not against Haley Steinfeld playing Spider-Gwen and Kate Bishop at the same time. Like, if you guys have watched my videos in the Arrowverse where I talk about how great it is when Steven plays a variant of himself as well as playing the main version, I love when actors are up to the challenge of playing more than one version of a character. Or even just an actress or actor acting with another character that they're both playing that are played by the same character, right? I think those interactions are cool, and that's why we have Secret Wars, is to do these fun interactions, right? So imagine you have Kate Bishop, and then imagine Spider-Gwen shows up. You think Haley Steinfeld could do justice to Spider-Gwen in live action?
Hope so.
Or do you think this is like, let's do like the previous idea and like, so let's say, let's make a fan cast prediction, right? Let's say, I think his name is Dallas. Let's say Dallas, who plays Kenny, plays Miles, and then let's say Peyton List plays Spider-Gwen. Would you prefer having a younger Spider-Gwen, or do you think Haley could do it?
Well, I think Haley could do it.
I do too. I think she's elaborated that she wants it to happen, so I don't see why it couldn't happen. I think the idea that Spider-Verse characters are going to be in Secret Wars just proves how Marvel is like, when it comes to Secret Wars, there isn't a list of people that are not allowed to be in it, right? They're just like, if we're going to do Secret Wars, we need to go even bigger than Endgame, and we need to know that there are risks that we have to take, but they're going to pay off for us if we do it right. Because I think that's been Marvel's biggest mistake, is so far they haven't gone back to their, not since Guardians has Marvel really taken a big risk again.
Well, I mean, they did with Eternals.
Yeah, and it didn't pay off for them.
Well, I mean, I still enjoyed Eternals for
Yeah, I didn't hate Eternals, but I don't think it made what they would have wanted it to make in the pandemic era.
True, fair point.
A lot of people bitched about it. I thought it was a fine movie. I don't know why people were so mad about it. Yet then again, the people that bitched about Eternals praise Multiverse of Madness, so they could all just be wrong.
That.
Yeah, I just feel like, I think this is the right direction for Secret Wars, and I think animated characters making live action debuts in something like Secret Wars just makes sense. Now here's my question though, and this is what I want to know from your perspective, since we've spent a lot of time talking about Spider-Man already. Do we see Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland before Secret Wars, do you think?
I'm willing to bet yes. Before
Because
Secret Wars, we'd have to.
Because we know we've heard that in Kang Dynasty, Spider-Man could be a leader of an Avengers team, right? So
I hope he is.
yeah, so if that's true, then I think this would be good. And if you want to start him on a mentor path, what if we got Miles introduced in Spider-Man 4? Like if we're getting a new person, maybe that's where they introduce them. And I think it's kind of more likely now, especially since now what we know about what happened in Spider-Verse with a certain purple suit wearing live action character, you know,
Yes.
wink wink, nudge nudge, popping up in live action seems like on Incredibles. I think not.
Coincidence? I think not.
Yep. Definitely. It just seems like it's the right move. You know what? You know what I've been thinking about too, and I wanted to talk about this with you. Let's talk. So we know that it sounds like Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to end the Spider-Verse trilogy, right?
Maybe. I mean,
And maybe they'll do more based off success. But if it ends the main story with Miles and Gwen, then here's my question to you: and this can be little cameos we got in Across the Spider-Verse. This can be full-fledged roles that were given in Across the Spider-Verse. Who do you, because Phil and Chris have done such a good job with these characters, and maybe you want to see them elaborated on more, right? Is there any characters stand out to you that you think should have their own story in their own movie, or maybe like a little short or something? I think movie would be a bit more fitting.
Well, one of them would be Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider. Another
I agree, I think
would be. Keep going.
Well, yeah, Scarlet Spider would be great. I definitely think Ben Reilly, especially you can get Andy Samberg to commit to it. I think it'd be great.
And
I'm glad you mentioned that. The other one I was going to mention, because I know we talked about, even since he was such a little cameo in this, there's got to be a way for us to see more of Josh Keaton's Spectacular Spider-Man. There's got to be a way.
I know.
Like a revival
I wish he'd
or
gotten more
something.
screen time. I want the Spectacular Spider-Man to come back.
There's got to be a way. Hopefully this movie boosts up enough energy for them to do that. The other thing I really want is I want to see more of... even though they're doing so much good job with the games, I think it would be really cool to see animated features with the PS4 Spider-Man character.
Hey Joe.
Yeah.
Hey Jake, like I liked including them. I think that would be cool to have him continue in some capacity, even though we're gonna get it in the games. But the other thing we got to talk about, and we talked about this in the movie a little bit, with the introduction of, since we talked about how this movie is bigger than Multiverse of Madness in terms of exploring the multiverse, there's one multiverse world that not enough people have been talking about, I've noticed, and that is the Lego multiverse.
Oh yeah.
We got 2 Lego Batman movies. Do you think it is time for a Lego Spider-Man movie being on the table? Like, is that something that you would be interested in seeing Phil and Chris
I'd
and
be
maybe other
interested in
people
seeing it.
doing it? Like, because like Lego Batman was fun, but there's so much more comedic opportunities with a character like Spider-Man. So like, it's perfect for Lego. Like Lego Jameson would be hilarious. I mean, there's so many great opportunities. Of course, I think the biggest character I want to see more of personally, even though he was a big deal in this movie, I'm sure he'll be a bigger deal in Beyond the Spider-Verse. I want a solo story. Maybe it's an origin story, maybe it's a continuation. I want a full rundown on Miguel O'Hara, because I just think that Spider-Man 2029 or 2099, I just feel like his character is just beginning and he's only going to get better, and there's so much more intrigue to him than I've ever had with another version of Spider-Man. In fact, I'm going to tease something to you guys that I was assigned as a project as a YouTube video that I'm working on, that I should be releasing in a couple days for you guys, where I was given the task to, because of all the shit that Marvel Comics has been doing, I decided to make my own version of how I would do Marvel Comics better. And I was chosen to, I could pick only 4 characters, and I had to figure out how to incorporate them and which characters I would use and how I would write them better and make them more interesting. And so I'll be making a big video about Marvel Comics, like how I would remake them, how their storylines would be, how their team-ups would be done. So I could pick 3 main heroes, and then I was able to pick a wild card character. So I'm going to reveal to you guys which characters I picked, and then my wild card character as well. So, to nobody's surprise, I picked Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Shang-Chi for my main 3 characters. Which I'm sure Trevor knows it just makes sense.
Yeah.
But then for my wild card character, I just always want a Spider-Man and Daredevil team up. But I also always kind of like the idea of, because of the whole Way of the Spider storyline, I always like the idea of Spider-Man and Shang-Chi teaming up. But everyone does Daredevil, but everyone does Peter Parker and Miles for their main Spider-Man introductions. So inspired by Across the Spider-Verse, I decided to read up on a bunch of Spider-Man comics and to do Spider-Man 2099 as my main Spider-Man of my comics universe. And so he'll be teaming up with Shang-Chi, Iron Fist, and Daredevil in my comics I'm working on, in my storyline I'm going to write for you guys. What do you think about that set of characters, Trevor?
Oh, that'd be so badass.
Yeah, so I think that'd be a really cool team up. I mean, you got Daredevil, Shang-Chi, and Iron Fist all being beautiful, amazing martial artists. Why wouldn't you have someone who's a ninja vampire literally going and fighting alongside them? And I think the banter for them would be really awesome. The other thing I wonder, I know he's crushing it as Moon Knight right now, but what do you think the chances are that we'll see Oscar Isaac play Spider-Man 2099 one day in live action?
Well, let's just say there have been multiple personalities for Moon Knight, like Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, Jake Lockley. So maybe a variant of him as 2099 wouldn't be.
Well, do you think he's too busy with Moon Knight to do a second dual Marvel role, or you think he'd be up for it?
I think he'd be up for it, honestly.
Because I think, as much as I love Moon Knight, I just thought he was brilliant as 2099. Like, he was so savage. Like, I just was so shocked by how amazing he was. Like, I knew he would be good, but I didn't know he would be that good.
Yeah, I do agree.
See, I think spin-off material, I think these are the characters that would be interesting. I like your Ben Reilly thing. I think that would be cool.
I think Ben Reilly. Also, who else?
Are you looking forward to, here's another one we haven't touched on. Are you looking forward to, because in Beyond, they showed that Gwen's got her own team to go rescue Miles? Do you think, and I talked to a couple people about this, one of the people on that team that's noticeable is Spider-Man Noir is going to be in Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Oh, I would love to see Spider-Man Noir don his own story.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I don't know if you figured this out yet. We haven't really talked about the big potential cameo in The Flash yet, because we haven't seen The Flash, but it seems like Nick Cage loves being in superhero movies, so I only hope that when he's back as Noir and Beyond, I hope they got Nick Cage to come back and voice Spider-Man Noir.
You better.
He was so perfect as that role. I love Nick Cage.
Me too.
I really hope it's really true that in Flash that we might really see him live out his dream as Superman that they talked about, even for a little cameo.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, you forgot? Yeah, I've always wanted to see that.
You know, I mean, I knew about the Nicolas Cage movie, and I just get soundtrack.
Just crazy.
Yes, I agree with you, Joe. Honest, I would have loved to have seen Nicolas Cage don the Superman suit.
Well, at least we'll get a little
Superman Death of Superman story arc that we were going to get in that movie.
Hey, at least we're gonna get at least we'll get a little bit of it here. See what it'll look like, which will be cool.
Yeah.
I'm still hopeful that they reveal that he's that Nick Cage's Superman is gonna be a part of the Michael Keaton universe.
That would be cool.
Because I really want to see that, like, kind of, maybe not a team up, but just like a scene between the two of them. I think would be really fun.
Hey, help me catch one of my perps.
What do you think Michael Keaton thinks about them retconning his Vulture character in more BS?
That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, but I'm just like, if you were interviewing Michael Keaton right now, what do you think he would say about that?
Oh God! Wait, what was the question again?
Like, what do you think Michael Keaton thinks about his more BS role as Vulture being retconned from what it was in Homecoming?
Well, all I would have him say is like, honestly, I don't see why it was there. It didn't make any sense. I mean,
Yeah. Well, when we know why they did it, is they're still trying, even after Amazing Spider-Man 2, they still won't give up on this dream to make their own Sinister Six. When if they want to do, if they want to do a good Sinister Six, they need to build it up with the right team of villains, and they need to introduce each of the villains at the right time, facing off against Spider-Man. What do these people not understand? You don't do a movie about villains without Spider-Man. If you want them to be villains, make them villains that are fighting Spider-Man, then make them get their butts thrown in jail, then make them assemble as the Sinister Six.
exactly.
Nobody wants to see these little movies about, oh, I want to see this guy be an anti-hero instead of a villain. No. They want to see the villains fight Spider-Man.
I mean, Joe, I'll never forget when I first saw the trailer for Morbius. You know, I really thought, you know, we were going to get, you know, a movie about a villain that will just legit turn bad shit. But
I know.
no, we didn't get that. All we got was a almost with even stupider memes.
Yeah, I really thought Jared Leto was going to redeem his Joker from the first Suicide Squad movie, but
Boy, was I wrong. Boy, were we wrong.
yeah.
How could we be so wrong? Basically,
Well,
Jared Leto starred in both the worst DC movie and the worst Marvel movie.
well, here's the way
How
I
is
see
that
it.
even possible?
I don't
I
know.
didn't think that would be possible.
Well, whoever's the casting director, they clearly need to be fired. The one thing I'll say is somehow live action Sony just doesn't get it. Animated Sony gets it, but live action Sony they always want to shove people in places where they do not belong.
Exactly.
And I just do not understand to this day why they do that.
And I literally don't understand, and I still don't understand. Why was Vulture in that movie in the first place? It's like he didn't need to be. Why was he put in that universe?
Probably for the same reason.
How did he get his gear back?
I mean, I said something similar in when I did my video for when I rank all the Spider-Man movies. When I talk about why Amazing Spider-Man is so low on the list, I talk about how they just shoved everyone in there just so they could have Sinister Six, and that was their first failed attempt.
And then they failed again.
The thing that makes me super upset, and I'm actually more upset at the MCU than Sony, because the MCU kind of was already setting up in Homecoming. I understand, Jake.
Joe, I think I know where you're going with this.
Like, we have Scorpion and Vulture in prison, and they couldn't and then once again, I love No Way Home as much as the next person, but why? Why is Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio not alive? Explain to me, why is Mysterio not still present after Far From Home? Like,
I know, but I think I know where you were going to go with the whole Scorpion thing. So what you're saying is they failed to set the Sinister Six 3 times.
yes, even the MCU failed. It's like nobody can do the Sinister Six right. It's like, why?
I've always wanted to see the Sinister Six done right.
That's like the perfect Spider-Man movie idea too, is like it doesn't matter if it's Tom or Andrew, just have a Sinister Six taking on Spider-Man in a movie. It's what people want to see. How big of a role is Leto meant to be in that Haunted Mansion movie, Jake? Oh, speaking of DC things, I have some posters I got from that screening, even though I didn't work at Elowin to see Guardians today, and they're giving away free Flash posters. So I'll show you some cool posters I got. So look at these posters that will one day be on my wall, guys. I got this one. Let's see what you can see it. So you can see it's got the Flash lightning bolt, but it's the Michael Keaton Batcave, and then on the inside you have Barry Allen coming out of the waterfall. So you got that one, and you think this is the coolest Flash poster you're gonna say. Again, it's got Worlds Collide on it. It looks badass, right? But you think that poster's cool? Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. Check this out. Worlds Collide, bitches. This one's multicolored, and it's got Supergirl, the Batwing from the Michael Keaton universe. It's got Zod, Ben Affleck on the poster riding his motorcycle. It's a badass poster. See, I got some cool little Flash mini posters, which is pretty nice. Well, yeah, I hope it's not a big role. I agree. I keep forgetting about him being in that Haunted Mansion movie, honestly, Jake. Why can't he just retire from acting at this point?
Just get rid of him.
Because honestly,
I had to get to your kid, but
I mean, every time we see him in something, he just is bad. I'm still hoping he gets replaced for that Tron movie. Because if he's attached to Tron, I'm not interested in it.
yeah.
I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Fool me twice, you're fired.
Yeah, fool me twice, you're fired. And then you fool me that third time, then it's like, yeah, I know.
Oh wait, it's on!
Yes, Hawk would definitely be upset. Jake, I'm so excited for that trailer tomorrow, man. Do you know what time it's dropping? Yeah, I agree. Do you know when the Expendables trailer is dropping tomorrow, Jake? Because I'm doing a reaction as soon as that trailer comes out. You know what? I'm so freaking excited for that movie. I might even watch Expendables 3 tonight to prepare for that trailer.
I'm not sure probably in the morning.
Oh, good. I'm doing a reaction as soon as it drops. I'm hyped for that shit. And like I said, I might even rewatch Expendables 3 tonight to get ready for 4. And I'll probably rewatch all the Expendables. I just feel like I'm in the mood to watch some Expendables tonight. I don't know why. That third movie had the best with Jason Statham and Wesley Snipes. What were you in prison for? Task Vision. Or like when or I love how Jason Statham's character's name is is Lee Christmas, and he's like, "What's so special about you?" I'm the knife before Christmas, bitch. Oh man, that's so good. People don't give those Expendables movies the love they deserve. That second movie was great, especially with what's his face, especially with Chuck Norris in that movie. I love. It's like, I heard you were bit by a cobra. I was. After 5 agonizing days, the cobra died. Chuck Norris is literally the most badass man on the planet, without question. To this day, he's 82 years old and he hasn't died.
Agreed.
He's super healthy, takes care of himself, and just the most badass man alive. Why are you just hanging off the side of the building there? You know, when I went to Spider-Verse yesterday, I got to see the new Turtles trailer, and I was really excited that Jackie Chan, Splinter looks great. Of course, man. Jake, you know, you and me's record for movies has always been, we're seeing Mission Impossible 7 together, we're seeing Expendables together. I would get a group out for Expendables, honestly, man. Like, I would love, I just, the idea of that movie has always been my favorite because it's like, I think of the Expendables as like the Avengers of the older action heroes and martial artists. Also, another thing I love about Expendables, Trevor, and I'm sure you're aware of this. Do you know the theme song of Expendables 3? Did you hear about the theme song for that, Trevor?
Yeah.
It's actually a favorite artist of yours.
I know.
Yeah, you have. Let's see if I can find it. I love it. I love the music video for this. Expendables 3. Knock yourself till you rock yourself. Let's see if I can find that movie in my collection tonight, because now I'm just hyped to watch Expendables 3 tonight. Oh, man.
I'm coming on, Jake.
Oh, good, Jake. Cool. Oh, yeah, I remember the Come With Me Now, Expendables 1. Yeah, but nothing was better than, where's the song? The Night Before Christmas. Oh, I found it.
Jacob coming online.
Yep, he's on his way. I'm waiting for the song to play. Hip hop and started from scratch.
What's up, guys?
What's poppin'? Yeah, we're pretty much done with the podcast. We're just kind of hanging out now, but we talked about some of the good stuff. But
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
yeah,
Just remember, say something about the motherfucking prequel band.
oh damn, you forget. Oh no, now I gotta play. Now I gotta play it. Now I gotta play it. Trevor, were you in when I discovered that shit?
Yeah.
It's my new favorite thing to play whenever I enter the party.
We're here today with film star Natalie Portman. Now, Natalie.
The fact that this is actually Natalie Portman singing this just makes me laugh even harder. Lonely Island is the greatest, dude. I fucking love Lonely Island.
I'm sorry, what?
Especially now that I know so many of those people have appeared in Spider-Verse, especially Andy Samberg from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay, this sniper little bitch. Yeah, Joe, I know I'm a your simp for Natalie Portman.
I like her more in Star Wars than I liked her in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like
Yeah.
almost exactly the same with current references.
Untrue. I'm a mother now. It's really changed.
Oh, here it comes.
Do you find it difficult juggling kids and a career?
You can juggle these nuts. I don't dance now. I'm a mommy. When I gave birth, I didn't even push. I was blazed out, smoking bomb kush. When my water broke, you know it dropped.
The Doctor. Oh, I love that part. Oh no, here we go. Bye.
Joe, if you're done beating off to Natalie Portman, I can use a hand over here.
How dare you?
Oh, dang. I can use a hand over here.
Oh, you have company?
Yes.
Oh, here we go. That's the motherfucking prequels, bitch.
Get the fucking snake out of the
The 17 dicks. I'm on the way, Trevor. I just couldn't.
Frozen.
Is Mr. Freeze bothering you over there?
No, it's these freezing regulators. Make it like a champ, motherfucker.
Why are you all the way on the other side of the city?
I'm stopping an illegal hack. You're
Jake,
you're on the other side of the city?
Yeah.
Jake, what time do you work tomorrow?
Yeah.
What time do you work? Is that Marshall's tomorrow?
No, theater. 1 o'clock.
Okay, I'm just trying to decide if I want to film a reaction video right away tomorrow for the trailer, or if you want me to do a live stream for the trailer.
I don't know. Whatever you want, man.
Yeah, I guess I'll just figure it out. I'm trying to decide because I'm not gonna lie to you, Jake. Even though obviously in 2024. Oh wait, no, this movie comes out in September, right? So it will be before 2024.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, good. So this movie, I've said for a long time, even though we had a lot of good movies in 2023, and even though I'm excited for The Flash, when this movie, when this movie was announced, it was my most anticipated movie of 2023.
Oh yeah. And
I mean, it's
Joe,
yeah.
I was looking at John Campion's channel today, and he did an interesting video. I haven't watched it yet, but he did a video titled "Which movie will move first? Sonic
Hey, Brandon.
3 or Avatar 3?"
Oh, interesting. Oh yeah. Brandon. Also, we're going to. Yeah,
I'm
we'll
gonna watch that video.
Brandon, when Trevor goes to bed, I'll play Jedi Survivor tonight. I know I've been behind on that.
I want to know what he says, so I'm gonna watch that video.
Hey, Trevorkins, mind if I drop by?
Fuck yeah.
My most anticipated superhero movie of 2023 is probably The Flash, because it's the one that comes out the next closest, and Michael Keaton, baby. So you know. But I will say, Blue Beetle has potential to also be awesome. And if I'm being honest, as excited as I am for The Flash, I might be a little more excited for Blue Beetle because it is my boy playing Blue Beetle. So you know, it's kind of a hard situation. I would say Flash first, then Blue Beetle, realistically. Where are you? I saved your ass and you disappeared? What about you? Oh, okay. What about you, Brandon? Are you more excited for Flash or Blue Beetle? Hotline D's nuts. Absolutely, Brandon. I'm excited for both. It's gonna be great. I'm excited for Blue Beetle because of my boy Miguel, man. How pissed off would you be? If Sonic moved because of Avatar. If Sonic moved from Avatar, I think Jake will make his biggest rant on his channel ever, and then he'll just get a lot of subscribers.
Production statuses that are upset like that. Right, so that's one thing. Production status. When you hear the term pre-production, it's important to know that means anything that happens in a movie before the director says action. Before before the actors are actually in front of the camera.
I know they are, Brandon. I knew this would happen, but they need to understand that there's a difference between an actor and a character, and they need to realize that a lot of people worked on this movie really hard that deserve to see their work respected and represented.
So, could the writer strike delay it? It's possible it could if there was no...
Andy, I watched your Punisher video, man.
So it's possible. I think unlikely that the writer strike is going to be the December 20th, 2024 release date for Sonic 3.
Andy, if this Punisher shit leads into the MCU, I'm showing up like Punisher and John Wick at Marvel Studios office, man. It's happening. You're absolutely.
Avatar 3. Just a tiny little film, a little sneak franchise that could, if you will.
Of course. Join the club. Join the club, Andy. We got jackets.
You know, could Avatar 3 be bumped because when the writer strike was this? I think
Trevor, you, me, and Andy have a mission. If this Punisher canceled comics leads to the MCU and they get rid of John Bernthal because of this BS, you, me, and Andy are loading up and going to Marvel Studios head office.
is shaking in his little Canadian booties. Terrible.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Okay.
That he might have to run head first.
Like our friend Woody Harrelson says from Zombieland, Trevor, it will be time to nut up or shut up.
Yep.
Franchises have had 2 films. Sonic has had 2 films. Avatar has had 2 films. Let's see how they've done. Well, Sonic has made, by the way, very impressive. When you combine the first 2 movies from Sonic, $725 million. That, my friends, is nothing to sneeze at. That's actually a really good result. That I think if you would ask them before they ever made the first Sonic movie, they say, yes, sir, all day, we'll take that number. That is a really big success for this franchise. Franchise I like very much. And it's so close to Avatar's number. No, it's not. Avatar's made 5.2.
You should watch my Spider-Man ranking video, Jake. I left some surprises in there for you.
So the answer to your question is, number 1, yeah, one of them's gonna win.
Brandon, have you seen my Spider-Man ranked video yet?
It ain't gonna be James Cameron. James Cameron is not moving this film. By the way, the Avatar franchise, it gets a lot of families out. Families like going and watch the Avatar movies. And that is the demographic that Sonic is gonna be going for. Yeah, has anybody...
You gotta watch it, man. Also, we're gonna be doing a live stream tonight. Watch party for Superman, Lois, and Gotham Knights.
Is the restroom guy right?
Absolutely. Why? They're nuts. You get out of the way of Avatar. Anyway, Chris, you, I know, are somebody who really appreciates these. So, these adore these movies.
I do. Ray got me so much Sonic stuff for my birthday that I have all over my house now too. It's all adorable around our TV. I love it.
So, the first question here is, do you think the writer's strike is going to potentially interfere with this release date now? But number 2,
I think it's possible. It could be pretty good.
Because of the visuals. Alright? Ben Schwartz, much like we have with Ryan Reynolds, can improvise during the strike. Because he is also a member of the WGA. And even though the script might be locked,
Hey guys, it's Your Joe 93, and today we're gonna rank all Spider-Man movies from the best to the worst.
it's got all the picket lines.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty dang good, man. I mean, I think it will be really good. And Brandon.
He's not only gonna move, he's gonna beg Disney, hey, I wanna be on Disney Plus. Let's just do it. Let's have me on Disney Plus. Sonic is nothing.
Hope so, since horror directors are great at making superhero movies.
Oh yeah, and as good as James Wan was for Aquaman, dude, I think Andy Machetti's gonna be just even better.
You think it'll make its money? I think it's gonna make its money and not.
I think The Flash will perform well in the box office.
I agree, Andy. Andy, did you watch my Spider-Man ranking video yet? I left a surprise in the beginning of the video for you.
Oh yeah, you did.
So it sounds like John Campia's like, Avatar's gotta move, Sonic's gotta stay.
No, it's the opposite, Joe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Fuck shit.
Avatar will lose that battle. For one reason and one reason.
The thing is, Joe, he's saying that Sonic has to move.
Why does Sonic have to move? Avatar is going to lose that battle. Because Sonic has one thing over Avatar that Avatar doesn't have.
Avatar has made more money between the two films.
Avatar has made more money, but Avatar came out when the pandemic era was still fairly fresh. Mario proved us that we're getting back to our roots now. So I believe that any kids movie now is going to make more money than any not kids movie.
Doctor Strange 2 had a plot with Scarlet Witch as main character. Sam Raimi directed the action scenes very well.
I agree, Brandon. Even though I don't love that movie, Brandon, I agree. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if Sonic moves, I'll be happy just because. I'd be disappointed that it couldn't happen just because it would mean that the movie would probably be better.
Oh, that's sad because I wanted to see you rant if Avatar took.
I would rant, but I would still look on the bright side and be like, you know what? Let's look on the bright side. The movie would do better if it moved.
One thing you missed earlier is if you want to see my biggest rant in the history of time, somebody asked me a question tonight, and if this comes true, I will lose my shit.
Whoever this variant of you is, he has a bad taste in movies.
What if they move it, Joe? What if they move it closer instead of farther?
So Andy, you watched it? Oh God, that's hilarious. Oh, that's possible. They could move it closer.
Like,
Yeah,
move it to like September or something, or
Yeah, that's
or
true.
October or something.
That zombie Doctor Strange moonwalking and Wanda taking out Illuminati was the coolest thing I saw.
I'm laughing so hard. Andy watched my video, and the first thing he said is, "Joe, that variant of you has bad taste in movies." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
And Joe,
Who's worse, him or Mikey?
and Joe, the problem right now is, Sonic 3 is still in pre-production.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's not a good thing with this writer strike going on.
No, that's true. Ah, gosh, I just want this thing to go away, but it doesn't go away.
Me too.
Ow.
What's wrong?
I just have bad sneeze.
Oh.
I'm laughing about what Andy did because Andy watched my video and Andy says that variant of yours has bad taste in movies. Thank you.
True.
You guys gotta watch it. You're gonna laugh your asses off.
I did.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah, you watch it right now.
Trevor, you're gonna die.
Get that bitch ass out of here. Get that
Give me
bitch
a
ass out of
second.
here.
Give me a second. I'm gonna pull it up.
I want to hear
Get
your
that
audio.
motherfucker out of here.
I want to hear that audio response so bad. Oh my god.
Alright.
Get that motherfucker out of here.
We're gonna rank all the Spider-Man movies from the best to the worst. Coming at number 1, Morbius.
What?
Wait, motherfucker was trying to say that he thought Morbius was the best movie. That wasn't me. So he said we're doing best to worst movies, but we're actually doing worst movies to best movies. So now my list is different than most people's lists. I'm not just doing Spider-Man movies. I'm also doing Spider-Man adjacent movies. So we're talking about characters from the Spider-Man mythos as well. So coming at number 13 on the list, we have Morbius. Now, I don't really have to say much about this movie. It created a god-awful meme.
Wanda didn't was trying to find a universe with her children, then wouldn't make sense to find an Earth where they are orphans instead.
Very true, Brandon.
And it didn't work. They still wanted it. They didn't care. They just kept pushing the Sinister Six. They ruined the canon they have of Michael Keaton and Vulture for this movie. They took out the scenes they have with Spider-Man because of studio interference. So they took out everything. It was shitty. They took out everything, and they did not care. They just wanted to be absent, and they took it out. And so Morbius...
They wanted to be
Shitty CGI, shitty third act, shitty characters. Morbius would have been better if he was a villain in the Spider-Man mythos instead of getting his own story. He just doesn't validate his own story. That's why he gets number 13 on the list. Coming at number 12 on the list, you gotta give it to Amazing Spider-Man. So look, similar to Morbius, a lot of studio involvement, like, you know...
That was great.
Yep, I do even love that shit.
What the fuck? Poke his bitch!
Yep. As you always said, Trevor, I had to.
But I still will never forget your video out of the 355 Odyssey the reaction.
Oh god.
Oh, that was funny.
There are some variants that just need to be murdered.
American Chavez the whole movie to learn to be
Hold on, let me see if I can find that.
I also remember your variant from the dude who actually liked Morbius.
Oh god.
Like right here. I have it right here.
Hey guys, so I saw Morbius yesterday along with many other people, and today is the official release date, so let's get hyped for Morbius, right? That's what we're here to do. We're here to get hyped.
Get back from Morbius.
Morbius had the best visual effects.
This is like the first half of the movie.
Probably just lazy writing.
Yeah.
I don't spend too much time thinking about Multiverse of Madness because I didn't like it very much, Brandon.
I absolutely loved it. Everyone should see Morbius. It's incredible. There's great action. There's hilarious. Tyrese Gibson is a national treasure. We love him. Matt Smith stole this movie from me, and he was very, very interesting. One of the best villains. He's better than Thanos.
Oh god.
Fuck out of here.
So we should totally continue with Spider-Man.
Oh, listen.
It's incredible. There's great action.
God.
There's hilarious. Tyrese Gibson is a national treasure. We love him. He was very, very interesting.
Listen to this part.
Best MCU villains, even though he's not in the MCU. Sony should totally continue with Spider-Man. They're doing a great job. Thanks for watching. Wait, hold on. Wait, what did you say? Oh, sorry, guys. That was just a variant. Yo, get the fuck out of that corner. You can stay there. No, that's not happening. Okay, that was a variant. So everything he said in the 1 minute mark, ignore it. This is really Yoda joke. That was an idiot. Okay, now what do you want?
I forgot about that part. He should have been dropped on his head as a child.
I also like your spoiler review as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of writing problems with that movie too, Brandon.
Trying to go back to your 355 review.
Oh God.
Joe's favorite movie.
Trevor, I will end this stream right now and take your ass into Injustice, and you will not say shit about it. You think I won't do it? You think I won't do it, Trevor?
So what you saying is,
What did you say?
so what you're saying is, villain of the Flash should really be Becky Sharp.
Oh, your ass is getting in Injustice right now.
You wanted to get me an Injustice, didn't you?
Oh, absolutely. But I was gonna mind my own business and just kind of relax. Definitely, Brandon. They made Black Bolt look like an idiot in that scene.
Damn it, I can't scroll that far back.
I have too many videos.
Oh, here's your spoiler review for Morbius as well. What you're saying there is pretty funny.
More BS.
Yeah, I can't scroll that far back in the channel. That
No
sucks.
worries. Oh, I'm sorry about that, man. I can try and see if I can find it. Oh yeah, he definitely did.
Starting day 2 of Morbius making more money than it was supposed to make. And in this article, they decided to say, oh yeah, forget No Way Home, forget what the MCU has done.
Listen to this.
We created the multiverse because we're Sony, and we had the idea for the multiverse. That's why in our end credit scenes, we show you the effects of the multiverse. Except, wrong-o, like the create the
That's where you get the wrong from.
Yeah, I'm a little worried on that one for sure.
Hey, Trevor,
Yes.
I found a very funny John Campion rant that I played for Joe last night.
6 o'clock, meeting about bad press for Captain Marvel.
Meaning about bad press for Captain Marvel?
Things Marvel, future MCU.
Oh my god. I gotta play this again because Trevor, you're gonna...
Please come meet your baby. He cries himself to sleep every night. Shitty mind.
John Campion rant about the Tom Cruise thing.
What happened?
Oh, it was over a year ago that I guess Tom Cruise got pissed off because people weren't following the safety protocols.
Alright, I guess we better move games real quick since... Yeah. Alright, Andy, we're gonna move to Injustice because Trevor's being a bitch ass. I need to put him in his place.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why